At the meeting. At the meeting. At the meeting. Ow! At the meeting. At the meeting. That's it. We are going to a meeting. Oh, meeting. Prayer meeting. We are going to a meeting, yeah. Oh, meeting. Meeting on.
I thought to myself, like, what better way to start the show than say we're going to a meeting tonight?
This afternoon. We're going to a meeting this afternoon.
What better way?
We are going to a
meeting.
That, of all my 6 years in the Bahamas, that's a top 5 song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meeting
That's
tonight.
up there in the top 5.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. It don't feel right to say it like that.
No, it's not right.
Guys, this is the last time.
It's
The
not right,
last
but it's-
time was the last
It's
time.
not right, but it's okay.
We're going to make it anyway. We're going to make it anyway.
Only 2 people here. I got any around them. I got a lot of people that don't like.
Uh-uh.
I got around them because we.
Tree. Y'all be going to a meeting. We here
yes.
at the meeting. At the meeting.
At the
Hey,
meeting.
at the meeting.
At the meeting. Yeah. Good afternoon, everybody.
Woo! No. Jody, this is it. The last time was this is the last time. It's the last,
The last time was the last time.
Oh, what's happening
We
next
better
week?
change.
Why I feel like
We
something's
better change the
happening
name of
next
the
week.
flyer.
Next week there's no show.
There's no show next week.
We have training something.
Ah. All right, so there you go.
Jody said she can't see us. Why?
You still got?
Franklin say, "What is this?" Now you know we late. If Franklin is
Yeah,
among the first
Franklin
people
here
to be
early.
here.
Good
Hey.
afternoon, Mary.
Good
Lightborn
afternoon,
Walker.
it's Mary Lightborn Walker. Good afternoon, Franklin. Good
Such a
afternoon,
privilege to have you
Jody.
guys join us.
Good afternoon, those 2 people that are watching that we do not know because the weeks have been revealing. There's a lot of silent partners.
Got a lot of lurkers.
Silent, that's what we call them. I didn't want to call them lurkers
Yeah,
because
no,
they have
yeah.
negative connotations.
You got a lot of
But
lurkers.
no,
That's fine.
that's what they is.
You look along. It's okay.
Look along the way.
How everybody doing? Everybody's doing good. Like and share the show. Let the folks know that good afternoon tea is on.
Let them know we reach, okay? Okay.
It's been a long
Da-
time coming. Hello. A
Change
gonna
gon'
come.
come.
Frank said he didn't be in the street meeting. Frank said he already be in the street meeting. I didn't get back home. Hey, y'all just reach.
Oh, Franklin, that's a lot of attitude.
So anyway, guys,
Delton, we gotta rev
welcome.
this engine up. Let's go.
That good morning tea. We have snacks though. Snacks usually helps the whole
Snacks,
process.
yeah. Snacks.
So we have a jar of lightly salted.
I'm not sure what we're gonna do with that, but okay.
No, not a
You know
fan.
what it is? I say that, and then I will be the person to finish the lightly salted.
Annie Lee is here.
Annie
Annie say,
Your Annie Lead add me as a friend on Facebook, and then I was like, but I thought I was Annie Lead friend already.
yeah.
Annie Lead, that's you?
So probably should me with that too, because what happened was I thought it was like a little hacker. You know, like every now and again.
I thought it was a hacker too.
And she's like, no, that's me. So yeah.
Oh no, I added her anyway because I didn't want to get riled. But I was like, this is very suspicious.
little suspect.
Little
Yeah.
suspect.
So
But
apparently
I
it
did
is.
surely add her.
Yeah, so that is new Facebook alert. Auntie Elite is here. Welcome, Auntie Elite. Yeah, so a bit scoff. You have the
Annie Lead, I need to send you a personal message. I have some inquiries to make. You know what I was talking to you about this morning in the car? I need to speak to Annie Lead.
Ellie, but that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah, she got you. She got you with that. So we are here. Good morning, Shauna.
Good morning. Good morning.
I'll tell
Good
you, like,
morning. You command your day. That's what they say. Good morning.
So it's a new day.
It's still still morning.
It's still a new day.
It's still a new morning.
It's a new day. Anyway, guys,
Yeah.
welcome to that good morning tea. I am Delton. That is Vera over there, and this next side over here. That's her there, and we welcome you to
I figured it
that
out.
good morning tea. Good morning,
It's
one.
good to see. I mean, we have Spencer biscuits.
Good morning, all. Oh
Good
yeah, no,
morning,
we got
big.
stuff.
Good morning, small.
Good morning, short. Good morning, tall.
I went the wrong way.
Good morning to all of y'all.
Good morning, all of y'all. Those cookies are good tea cookies.
Listen.
And Miss Mary, I have tea today. I usually have coffee, but something in my spirit said, let's have tea. And then Delton told me we had Biscoff. I was like, correct.
And she thought our office was a tuck shop.
Correctamundo.
She's like, she want tea, but she
I didn't bring no lime.
She didn't bring her lime. Little did she know.
Little did I know.
That in this office, not only do we have lime, we have a seasoning rack.
I sure.
We have meat in the freezer.
A seasoning rack.
We have vegetables in the fridge. We get grits. We get a ham. We got a variety of meats.
Meanwhile, me and my colleagues are trying to put together to buy a little mini fridge.
Oh no, we have two fridges. No,
we're putting together for a mini fridge in order to put our lunch boxes in. Not even to buy things.
No, we
can keep our lunch cold.
We have two fridges. We have two fridges. We got an air fryer.
Frigidaire.
With a large quart. It's a large quart one, the biggest size that they
Meanwhile,
have.
I put air fryer on my Christmas list.
Oh, no, we have here. This at the office. Just doing things.
Y'all started your Christmas list yet, or what are we doing? Because
I have one on Amazon. Just let me know if you want the link. I can send the link to you. It was birthday, and we just transferred it to Christmas.
Why not? Lucky for me, birthday and Christmas. I say luckily and unluckily for me.
Yeah. So
I'm at that age where
I can send out the link.
You can't be still giving me one present. Like we don't. Come on, we do not do that anymore. Franklin said he needed an air fryer too. Put it on the list, Franklin. Put it on the list. It's a good time of year to need something. So I think it's a good time of year. It's not. Christmas is not even. It's not here.
It's not here.
It's not even there. I always don't know what to say when people assume I celebrate Halloween. Like, oh, it's October candy. All the candy you can eat. I'm like, huh? What?
We don't do that here.
We don't do that here.
We don't do that here. Halloween, no.
Anyway, I didn't party with the heathens
and the goblins. What? No. Continue to like and share the show. Comments. Let your friends know we are here. We're talking about church hurt today at some point. That's our plan, to talk about church hurt. And so I'm hoping that someone on the live has experienced church hurt, because none of us are good candidates for the show.
And we gave this disclaimer last week.
But we want to talk about it.
Because it's come up several times in our DGMT.
Yeah.
It's been referenced. So we thought it's time to get at it. But we disclaimed last week, Delton and I probably aren't experts on that topic.
Definitely not.
If we was having a show on just church.
Like we do every time.
Church. However, actually, I think we know enough, because we know enough people who have been in that situation.
Who have allegedly been hurt by the church. Allegedly.
You can't be petty, Delton. We need to set some parameters in place before we have this conversation.
Anywho, like I said what I said.
Share it.
Church announcements as we get started this morning. Happy birthday to all those birthdaying. I know one of our DGMTs is getting ready to celebrate. And
Getting ready.
So let me get those from last week. Last week, everybody had a missed Charles Cooper, Ryan Green celebrated yesterday. CJ Miller, Gucci Water celebrated yesterday. October 1st, Shirley Moss, one of my friends from school, Antonio, Stacia Fox. Celebrating today, I got Umikwa Hepburn, Soul Highway Church of God member. I got Bishop Eric Josie celebrating on today as well.
I'm proud to say he's also my Facebook friend.
He's a Facebook friend.
So he came up in my list of people celebrating today.
And that's all who I got. I mean, you got anybody who's celebrating today?
Bishop Eric Josie.
That's all you got? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we sent birthday shout outs to Bishop Eric Josie. Once again, we want to apologize for all of you. I guess you're not listening via radio because it's not on. Once again, we put that disclaimer there. We're still looking for a tower person.
No one applied to climb the tower?
We had a person who said to climb the tower, cleared their schedule to climb the tower, and that same day is when we had a mini hurricane and the lightning and the thundering came. You don't climb tower.
On the Saturday?
No. This is
when was there a mini hurricane? When else was there a mini hurricane?
Monday or Tuesday, one of the days.
Child, I get so used to this rain.
We had a little mini hurricane and it was thundering and lightning. And we can't do tower.
Franklin, you know that's not how we work around here. We do not deep dive.
With the lightning.
Franklin trying to deep dive into the topic. We don't do that here. We slap up and we go round around the bush.
And then we get to
the point. You're going too far too soon. Mind you, we could have a half-hour show.
Yeah.
Mind you, we could have a half-hour show. We
ain't going off the dock, Franklin. We go by the beach. We can walk on the sand first, we get the shallow, and then we can slowly
we're going to paddle our way until the water is
but
neck deep.
Shoulder first. Keep your head out.
Exactly.
So anyway, in news and reviews, what's new in news and reviews?
You see what Shauna wrote? She says she don't know much about church yet, but she know a lot about school. Shauna, we can get to you too. I feel like all those who are hurt, come in the room. Come on in the room. Bring them all. All those who are afflicted.
Bring them in. So, in news and reviews, COVID-19.
I've been living under a rock this week.
It's done in the Bahamas, as I can
see. Yeah. We basically
finished.
Living our best lives. So we're done.
COVID is finished. Places are open. Restaurants, I passed last night around 10:30, 11 o'clock. We're just getting started.
If you're trying to go to the States unvaccinated, you now have 31 days.
Yeah, but none of them, you have 20-something days.
No, it starts in November. No, wait.
November 1st, right?
How many days? 30 days are September. But you know November. So we've got 30 left because today is the... Oh, no, today's the 2nd. Yeah, I thought we was in the 1st.
Nah, 29.
Oh, guys.
So you gotta hurry up. If you want to go to the States. So COVID is done. Yeah.
If you want to go to the UK, don't.
You can't. They're not accepting us. But I passed restaurants were jamming. Gas stations were still open after 10 o'clock.
I didn't know how relieved I would be to see a gas station open after 10 o'clock.
Listen to me. I was so this was what we had at church.
We had something and I went to Wednesday. The gas afterwards.
That was Wednesday night. We had the service Wednesday night and we left there. And when we left, Juliet like she wanted a Gatorade. I was like, ma'am, everywhere's closed. Past the gas station.
Imagine you could just satisfy your cravings in the middle of the night now.
Like, hold on. I was like, I don't know, these people picking up their friends, like after work. So I was like, I don't want to just go assume and hop out the car.
Because essentially they only need an hour to get home. They closing at 11 o'clock.
So I drove. The guy's like, you open? Yeah, man. It's like, oh, sir, thank you, sir. Frank said, what? No UK?
Frank, you could go, but you'll be discriminated against for being vaccinated in the Bahamas. So essentially, you'll be treated as if you've not had a vaccine because you were vaccinated in the Bahamas. If you've been vaccinated, now if you've not been vaccinated, carry on.
Yeah. So the UK, they had what else? Red light, yellow light, and green light. Now it's just red or green.
Yeah.
No in between.
Yeah. So if you're they just have vaccinated and unvaccinated, like the protocols for vaccinated and unvaccinated people. However, if you're from certain countries and vaccinated, you'll still be treated as if you're not vaccinated.
Which is so weird. Anyway, other news and reviews. A new day is still going on for the PLP. They're moving stuff around.
And they are busy.
Quickly. One of the biggest...
They've already started repatriating folks.
I'll say that was the biggest story
That was the biggest story this week.
There are so many that came in a short time of from Haiti on the boats. It's like, I think like over 1,000, almost 1,000 within the span of like a week. And so they have been busy yesterday trying to repatriate immigrants. Shout out to one of our friends, Jose, who was down there live, giving the report as it was going on. A lot of complaints, and I'm always baffled at the complaints. Like, this is not to be like not desensitized issue, but I'm like they're not getting treated properly. All the time they've been here, they didn't get no food. They didn't get certain stuff. It's like, first of all, how did all y'all fit on the vessels y'all came on here? And that's it. It's not making light.
It's like you're asking the wrong questions.
And to me, I understand that we have to be humanitarian. Like we can't.
Right.
We have to be humans. But it almost sounds like they expect this hotel treatment that they come as they wait to be repatriated. That they want to stay up in the hotel. So
please clear this up for me because I told you this week I was under a rock.
Why can't we go to Atlantis until it's time for us to go? It's like that's not how it works.
Delton, first of all, petty. Secondly, so the repatriation is for people who have come in the recent weeks. This isn't like a whole we scanning through all the communities and towns. They're not at that stage yet.
No,
just help me understand. I've just been hearing the word and seeing pictures of people en masse sitting on the floor, people with being guarded. So I'm kind of like, what's going on? And as I said, under a rock, guys.
So normally we have boats that come in illegally through our waters. It's stated oftentimes that most of them are trying to get to the United States of America.
Right.
Well, of course, look at the map. Haiti, we right here. They trying to get up, and they end up usually in Niagara. We had a big influx this week and last week.
Okay.
Of about, like I said, about 900 or so that's there. Wow. And they kept them either on the Defense Force boat or in Inagua. Usually they would come to Nassau, go to detention center, and then get processed, court, and then they get repatriated. This time in the New Day, it's like, no, we send the judge and everybody to Inagua.
Oh.
This is what happened this time. So the judges went down, and everybody who needed to go down went down to Inagua, and repatriation happened, which makes sense to me, a whole lot of sense. Because
I'm not going to lie, that makes a lot of sense.
Inagua is closer to Haiti.
That makes a lot of
sense. It's like a 20-minute flight or something like that.
And it's just a lot less work.
A lot less work. So they did that there, and they sent those that came in illegally back to Haiti. It took longer because they're probably the airport they're saying that they wanted to go to wasn't open. They had to go to another airport. But they got it sorted out. So yesterday, you had about three or four flights. I think 3 flights was, if I remember correctly. I'm ready to some on the Quito as well. It was close. So they brought them in and sent them back rather than bring them to Nassau. What normally happens is they get collected every now and again. The Department of Immigration would do raids here in Nassau and different family islands where you would find them parked up on like the bridge, or they'd be by the hospital or by bus stops. And as person come in, they ask for their documents. You don't have documents, you get in the bus, you get sent back to the detention center. And then after a while, they usually hold them for a little bit, and then they send them back home.
I don't even see the point of all of that. I think this is a very excellent model.
No, what this one here, this like where we catch you.
Right.
Judge, jury, anybody have papers? No one have papers? Okay, sorry, you didn't come into the right channels. Back to where you came from. A lot of Bahamians opine that they should be sent back on the same boats that they came on. Let's turn them around and like escort them back to Haiti. That's I think based upon treaty stuff that we signed, I don't think we can do that because a lot of their boats they're not seaworthy.
Right.
These makeshift sailboats and dinghies.
Okay.
And it's
so I'm because I was wondering why don't you just send them back on boat, but now that makes sense. That makes sense.
A lot of them they come on these makeshift boats and these things. There's reports that they spend up to $5,000 per person to make this voyage.
That makes sense.
You pay a boat captain $5,000 for you to get on a boat.
What is the consequence for these people who drive the boat?
That's what we've been trying to find out. Oh, Jody says the medical care is also provided. So
Franklin say they are seaworthy because they made it here, bro.
I mean, it's true, but usually just repatriation. But for the boat captains, you don't necessarily see the boat captains. I don't think the boat captains are actually on the boat. I really doubt that boat captains on the boat. They probably have somebody who's from Haiti, probably that will probably. So yeah,
of course, the person driving the boat is not the person who took your 5K.
Of course,
but
so there's someone on the boat who probably knows the direction.
Listen, I would have given a couple of them a deal. Give me a name. Tell me where you find them, because you need to go to prison. You need to be prosecuted.
So there's millionaires in Haiti that's making money off this.
Of course.
So this
is trafficking. That's what this is.
No,
like, let's call a spade a spade.
It's human trafficking. Now there are some allegations that Bahamians profit off it. There are Bahamians in Haiti,
absolutely,
that are telling them how to navigate and how to get through certain channels, where to go to get past defense force routes and stuff like that. That there are ops of our society that use them as slaves. So that's labor. They traffic them in to use them as for cheap labor. Mm-hmm. There's all kind of stuff. There's all kind of stories that go along with these kind of things. How do we solve it? That's something that we still try not to find out. But I think
it's difficult. I think the balance is difficult because these people are simultaneously criminals and victims. I think that's the challenge. So when you look at them, the pictures of them like being rounded up almost like herds of cows and sheep, it looks really inhumane.
Yeah.
But actually, if you were looking at a picture of convicted felons, you probably wouldn't feel the same kind of emotion and sympathy. No. But it's exactly the same principle that they have committed a crime and thus they are being punished, or they're being treated as not as their crime deserves. Because I'm not saying necessarily if you commit a crime you should be treated as less than human. But I think from the outsider looking in, our emotional response comes at the fact that we don't necessarily see them as the criminals that they are because they have done something illegal. And the flip side of that is
children too.
These people are really victims of circumstance in terms of kind of poverty and poor opportunities where they are. victims of exploitation. Because you can imagine that this isn't as simple as somebody, like if there's money to be made, this isn't simply, I'm just going to stand here and wait to see who comes to me and wants to go to the Bahamas. It becomes, you start to source people out. You start to sell people a dream.
I got you a better way of living.
I've got you a better way of living. So you have to understand, I can understand that there are some people among that group who aren't necessarily devious.
Yeah.
Like they haven't calculated the criminality of what they're doing. They've literally just been sold, there are better opportunities for you. Here is a way to go.
Now there are cases where, what's the word? Asylum, where persons come from
seeking asylum seekers.
And we have laws for that. Like you can come here seeking asylum.
Mm-hmm.
We have laws and stuff in place to
refugees.
Yeah. But when you just try to, you hop on a boat, you gotta get sent back. And
I think it's the exploitation of people's lack of knowledge. Lack of knowledge, as there are legitimate ways you can go about making this trip or making this journey. £5,000, sorry, not pounds, dollars, and thinking of what that is to like put $5,000 in the hand of somebody who's got a stable job and is living quite comfortably. That's still a goodly amount. That's a hearty amount.
Right now,
then try and take that from somebody who literally has nothing.
Nothing, yeah.
Oh gosh.
And now you send me back now to where it came from with nothing.
Less than nothing, because anything I had, I gave it to whoever sent me.
And then for a lot of them, there are complaints that the federal officers took their goods away from them, stuff like that, and they didn't get them back yet.
What goods? Like their clothes or their bags?
Clothes, bags. Quote unquote. Some of them said they had their passport. That's usually what happens. They claim that they have a passport, but the federal officers took it and they didn't get it back, and so they try to fight that way to try to stay here longer. So that door. I wonder who it is.
But have a special guest.
So they try to manipulate their way through here, saying that they have documents, but the federal officers took them, and there's all kind of complaint stuff that happened. Franklin says the full thing is no one will tell the authorities who they are, who these boat captains are. You gonna see it? Oh, your phone? Yeah. So Franklin says, let me take this thing off the middle thing here. All right. So yeah, Franklin says the one thing is that they never tell authorities who they are, which is true. So we go through this whole process and we never find out exactly who the captains are, who's the ones in charge. And it says the children are the ones that are really the ones that get hurt. Yeah, and I don't know which parents and how they like fix that amongst themselves to bring their children here and feel like it's okay. Like for you to put your child on a boat, you and fully exposed to the elements, boat not the best in the world. You check the see what it is? Oh. Yeah, so the boat not the best. Barely moving at a probably sail, so they're moving at snail pace. These are no motorized vessels, so they're moving at snail's pace, trying to traverse the waters of the Bahamas where they don't know. And for you to take your child, I saw some of the pictures of yesterday. Children look like they 3, 2, 4, and 5, and they are there on these boats, and now they're in this different place. Different brand new place that they have no idea that exists, and now they're being treated as criminals. Going back now again, sent back home, the place they really trying to get away from. Julian says it's so sad because if they're running from poverty and to a better life, how long does it take them to gather those funds? I think that's what Vera just talked about earlier. That a lot of them they save up and save up and save up just to get this opportunity to possibly move. Hey, we get packages. Warm packages. People save up money just to try to make this journey here. Being promised a lie that is a better way of life, not only to be treated as criminals. Hey, what is happening? Yeah.
A warm package in a brown bag. A warm package in a brown bag we have received from a mysterious guest who does not want to appear on camera, but we will call the name. She is none other than Julianne Roll. Thank you so much, Julianne Roll. Okay, this is yours.
It's Max.
That's yours. That's yours. Hey. My God is good.
Bless the Lord, bless the Lord, bless the Lord. Oh, my soul.
Come on, lift those hands all over the room. Lift those hands. You
going to me? Look, quick time out, DJ. You leaving? I need to ride with me. All right, let's check it. All right.
Oh, no, because I was going to say.
Because Vera's leaving me. So everybody got to leave me. Somewhere.
No. Because aren't you going to? No, that's why I was saying you could go with mine. But then that means you would have to take me to go and get gas for my tank. Unless you want to go and get it. Guys, sorry, we got madly distracted.
Timing.
No, Delton, you were saying the thing about them putting their children on the boat. But for me, that's always a sign of like, if this is the better alternative for you, your circumstances must be dire. That's how I feel. I feel like if you're willing to risk the lives of your children in this way, what you're leaving has to be worse than this.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's where my sympathy always comes from. Like,
so the answer, I think it may always go down to border patrol and repatriation. Unless conditions are livable in these countries, I can't see how. The UK and Europe have the same issues with persons from the Middle East as well as those in Central and South America. However, the rate at which asylum is being granted is nowhere close to the possibility of sneaking in, of course. Can you imagine snitching and being returned to your home country? They're going to find you unless asylum is granted. And that's the thing.
Oh, the thing where I said...
if you tell who the boat captain is, and now you send me back to the country, no. I gonna need to stay here. Like, I cannot go back.
No, that's the deal. That would have to be the deal. The deal would have to be, I could stay because I can't give you information.
And then you'll send me back. Still, no.
I can need that in writing too.
People are mad.
And then you think about the communication when they get here, how well they can communicate whatever issues they're facing. Anyway.
Yeah, no. Donnie's is coming waving in. Good evening, Donnie's here. 12:45. So yeah, she thinks it's just survival mode. Franklin say we too like heat. Correct. That is true. That is truth. Anyway, so I was saying, like, some of them like they were really nicely dressed. I won't lie to you. It's like, this, y'all are pretty very nice and fancy.
Do you know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of the Windrush. Those of you that don't know the Windrush, let me give you a quick history. In the 1950s and 60s, the Windrush was the name of the boat that transported Jamaicans and other Caribbeans from their places in the empire to the motherland. They were told and they were sold this idea that you're part of the empire and the empire needs you. So come to Mother England and work. So they put them on these Windrush boats, and the Windrush, which is the name of the boat, and they call them the Windrush generation because like 5 or 6 years ago, there was this whole thing where the new Home Secretary started deporting them back to Jamaica. Mm-hmm. And a lot of them didn't have documents. A lot of them were born, like, it was a whole scandal thing, and they had to apologize to the Windrush generation, etc., etc. But if you look at the pictures, right, of that momentous time in history when they came off the boat and landed in Mother England, these men were sharp. I mean, top hats. I mean, bow tie. I mean, suit. Mm-hmm. Because they were stepping into a new opportunity. Like, in their minds, this was going to be everything for them. This was a new day. You dress up for a new day. It's like going and stepping on your new job for the first day. So people dress up good. Mm-hmm. So that doesn't surprise me, actually, because that tells you the mindset of the individual when they're, if they put on their very best.
Go to a nice place. So let me try to fit in the most possible.
Boy, I leveling up in life. Let me start as I mean to go on.
Yeah. So so anyway, that was the biggest stories.
Yeah, definitely. As much as I was under a rock, I did see that.
Now a lot of people complained because in some cases, the illegal immigrants were given COVID tests. And they were like, so they get free tests already? We don't get free tests. I know everything's political. They find a way to make politics on anything.
As in,
and they were like, oh, so we get free tests to just give away.
People just like misery, man.
They do. It's like, oh, so we get free tests now. We can just give away.
You know how cheap them tests are?
I mean,
them ones that you get that you have to pay $40 for. Thank God you don't have to pay anymore. But those tests, do you know? I don't want to say I'm mad. Let me just talk it. Let me talk it like it is. Mm. When I was in the UK, I told you guys that the culture there is test, home test. Them little home test kits that I probably used like 25 of in that week when I was diagnosed with the vid. When I paid $40 for my health fees and they told me the $40 is for the test.
Sorry.
Hello, 2212. So those home tests, those home kits, I just could not conceive why that cost me $40. I understand that it's not free. Miss Mary saying nothing is free. We all pay for it in some form or fashion.
Yeah.
But let's make the price what's the word? I can never say that.
Not conducive.
Not conducive, not consummate, but commensurate. Commensurate. That's it. Commensurate to the thing. $40 for that little thing that I could do home, and y'all running out. But anyway, in this new day, you don't gotta pay. In the new day, you don't gotta pay.
Well, you don't have to pay here. You can pay somewhere. Like Miss Mary said, you can pay now. You can pay later.
If I'm paying for that kit, I can pay the $10, fine. But $40? That's crazy. That's wild to me. But anyway.
Yeah, so that was
how are we gonna have show with this food in here? This ain't gonna work.
That was the high Bahamian news. Now for me, I want to talk about this. New topic. And it was making the rounds on the
We still in church announcements?
Yeah, it's still
Okay.
announced. It's news and reviews. News and reviews. This made the rounds on the Al Gore's internet of I can't remember his little name. One, Robert Kelly. Robert Kelly, some of you may know him as R. Kelly. I know him as Robert.
You know him, right?
I know him as Robert. So Robert Kelly was charged. I'm not charged, but he was found guilty, I think, of racketeering. Racketeering means that not only was you always heard the stories of him being
a predator.
A predator. Now it's like, that's a predator. He had a full organization.
Right. I saw that trafficking thing and I was like,
yeah. So once you go to racketeering, it's like that means now this is organized. Man, okay, type in comments, please. This racketeering, this now means that this is now organized crime of sex trafficking, not just females, but also they had boys, males and females in this. And once again, like a few months ago when it first came out, when he went into jail, that's actually now almost 2 years. I think 2019 is when he went to prison. Since then, there's been the cancel culture that took over. If you're old and don't know what cancel culture is, that's when social media and the celebrities tell you to stop.
I'm about to expose my hypocrisy. I can see it's coming.
To stop listening to people's music, don't stop supporting this particular artist because we are not down with them. They got to go. And so now that's even now more so the case now with R. Kelly. After they found out that now he's being charged and he's being found guilty of racketeering, they are now saying definitely all of his music, his catalog, has to go in the garbage.
And I'm very aware of the fact that Delton and I have both publicly said on DGMT that
first of all, speak for yourself.
That Delton roll. I recall, if not Delton myself, that I said he would not be cancelled, that I don't necessarily subscribe to cancel culture because, first of all, like, the quality of music doesn't change as a result of their misdemeanors and crimes. A banger is a banger is a banger is a banger. Like, okay, that's number one. Number two, for me, I kind of get I can make the connection between, right, when you cancel someone because listening to their music or, promoting their content puts money into their pocket to continue to do dumbness. You understand what I mean? But at this point, canceling him is going to do what? He's gone to jail. He's already in prison. He's already convicted of crime. He's going to jail. If I don't listen to his music, how would that impact him? He's been punished.
Here's how they say, because if you go to the Spotify, you go through all these little streaming things now, as everybody do, because you don't buy music anymore. You stream it. Mm-hmm. Every time you stream it,
he gets a little change.
His little people, they still get money, and that's how he pays for his lawyers, and how he probably paid for the airplane that he trafficked the people in.
I'm not gonna lie. I was saying all of that to come to this point here. Now that he's been convicted of racketeering, my guy's got to get cancelled. And that's bad. But then part of me is a bit like, why would you cancel him? Because in your mind, the crime is slightly more severe. But actually, no, guys, I'm exposing my own hypocrisy here. I'm exposing my own.
Don't call me out.
Yeah, don't call me out. I know,
myself out.
because I'm questioning myself. Like, because as soon as you said racketeering, I was like, yeah, no, I'm gonna feel bad when I listen to his music. But when I heard that he was a kiddie fiddler or he was a bit of a predator,
Hey,
I was like, babe, that's bad. But yeah, it's still a jam. But now I'm like, I don't think I can listen to his music.
So it took
without feeling
a culmination of
twinge of guilt. But now I'm questioning myself as to why.
So it took a
like, would I stop watching?
Was just one event? You needed.
I don't know.
From age and number with Aaliyah to moving forward, it was like, yeah.
So what? No, I'm the world's greatest at graduation. No, I believe I can fly. No, because that's it.
If you do I believe I can fly, you gotta play the version with Elon Adams. not his.
He
version.
still wrote that song though.
Yeah, but still.
And when you all played it at graduation, he was never getting royalties from that know-how anyway.
Because he know we ain't pay for that.
Okay.
We take it off you too.
So
we copied off.
See what I mean?
I know somebody like for me the cancel culture doesn't affect me because I can't. I think there was maybe one album I bought from him in my entire life.
No, but then Delton, as you said, Spotify. Now if we go on YouTube, people don't get money from watching them on YouTube.
And not unless it's like his channel.
Okay, so guys.
So for me,
there's a way around this.
No, I won't lie to you. I've had multiple of his albums. I never purchased any of them. So for
put the disclaimer at the bottom of the screen.
Like I never purchased any of his albums in my younger days when I was back in high school and stuff like that, many years ago. So I never really supported him. Besides, that one time I bought a CD. I think no, it wasn't. I bought. I tell you, I know exactly what I bought. I bought the Happy People album with "You Saved Me" on one side.
That is so good. Oh, might not say that.
You can't say that. You can't say it's good anymore.
It is good though. It doesn't become ungood because he's a bad guy.
It's not good. It's not good anymore.
Step to the left, step to the right, spin around and bring it down tonight.
No more.
That's good, clean party music, man.
Mm-mm. So that's gone now.
No, see, but you know what? These things do really make, because I feel like as Christians, we have a very strong sense of right and wrong, right? Mm-hmm. But when it comes to like moral principles, I think these things always expose that we don't really sit down to establish our personal convictions. So, because Marisha's coming to say she having a similar struggle with Peter Nygaard, she just needs the pants.
So there's a lot of
but he can't rape all those women. Why you say it like that? Oh,
allegedly, as I have the thing.
Or maybe it's the allegedly that made me feel like he shouldn't get cancelled. But now he's been convicted, I can't, with good conscience, entertain his music, knowing that he was singing this while having boys locked up in a cupboard somewhere.
In a cupboard.
Maybe it's the allegedly not so morally compromised.
We say what he did was awful and should definitely be charged. However, she wants them Nygaard jeans though. Conundrum. Julianne wants to know, so no ignition remix.
But you know what? This even goes to the clothes that we wear. Like we hear of these sweatshops in China. We hear of these sweatshops, how they mistreat children and the children working to the bone. Julianne. No ignition remix. My thing is,
I'm gonna try to be
we know, like there's a shop in the UK called Primark. You can't tell me I can't shop to Primark. But there was big people party. Morning.
Yeah.
Coming to join us, Festo.
Master, you have to charge for the cycle. When would you do that? Yeah.
Y'all hear that? But my thing is, we know these sweatshops. We know about how anything you can buy cheap, somebody is being exploited for it.
Definitely.
Any kind of jewelry you can buy cheap, someone somewhere has been exploited for it. And we know it and we ignore it because we want to be living comfortably in the Western world with our electricity and technology and toilets that flush. So I guess this opens up a bigger conversation. Like, what is our moral as Christians? What is our moral duty? Like when we know someone is being exploited for our comfort as Christians. Because I feel like on these things, non-believers do much better. like saving the trees and global warming. You know that running your machine and flushing every time you go to pee is costing the planet, but you do it anyway for your comfort.
Yeah.
I do wonder about that sometimes. Like, should I care about the planet more as a child of God, the creator of this whole thing? Should I really kill that fly?
Yes.
Is God displeased when I killed the fly?
So let the centipede run.
He made the fly.
He made the centipede. Let the centipede.
There are humane ways of getting rid of centipede. You know that there is.
So catch him, release.
Catch him and release. Catch and release.
Okay.
No, but because as we here on DGMT, let's talk about it.
Let the fly roach come towards you.
Let's talk about it.
See if you catch and
How
release.
far should this go? We making excuses? No. Pow. Pow, 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 pow. Annelise say you was listening to him while he was doing it, but Annelise, we didn't know. We were ignorant at that point. We didn't know. Now that we know, so we say, I was listening to it anyway, so let me keep on going. I don't know. I do ask myself these questions. Should I care? Like, sometimes I'll be like, when the children are tearing pages out of their book, stop it, save the trees. But really,
the tree is dead, ma'am. The tree is already died.
But another tree will die because you tore out that page.
No, that book they already do. They have thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and millions of billions of books.
And we have fewer and fewer trees to fund these millions of books.
Tonight? Oh, it's ready? See, Devin just messes up, man, because I didn't know when.
You're still on the mic. We can still hear you. This is why God didn't give man wings. When we think we can fly, we get all kind of trouble. Stay quiet. Imana. You need to put that. That needs to be in a poem. That needs to be on a t-shirt. That needs to be put into a song. That's deep. That is deep right there. When we think we can fly, we get into all kind of trouble. So Imana, you canceling R. Kelly? That's it? No more I Believe I Can Fly for you? So what? Do we have to remake some of our faves? Is that what you're saying? Julie say, you say cheap things. Who's to say Gucci and VSL ain't getting stitched in a sweatshop as well? You ain't lie, Julie. You ain't lie. That's even worse, because they make greater profit. Where do we draw the line? Only buy clothes that humanely sourced, like blood diamonds. Would you buy a blood diamond? But then if you knew it was on your finger, what would you do? She sell it back.
Still is right.
All of this talking, Imana say she's not cancelling R. Kelly. It's a no for Imana. If we were always morally responsible, we wouldn't even breathe. I feel like. So what does that mean? Just don't bother about it, or just go with what you're convicted to do. Let's go with our personal
convictions for this.
Oh, come on, guys.
It shouldn't be.
I wonder the same when I read how creation groaning.
Yeah, groaning in the morning.
Creation is groaning for the manifestation of the sons of God, and we think it means we have to shatarata more. No, maybe just conserve energy and be more thoughtful about how you use plastic and things that destroy the ocean and burn things and use electricity. I don't know. I think the heart of man is desperately wicked. I think our natural disposition is to be destructive of the earth, of ourselves and of others.
For this whole situation with Robert, first of all, Shawty, she's gonna fly. That fly got to die.
No, you skip down. You need to read this. I ain't catching and releasing nothing. Romeo the cockroach
has died. I tell you, if that fly didn't come towards you, I'm gonna catch and release. Catch a fly roach. Let me see you catch it.
I feel like I could justify killing the centipede and the roach because they're gonna harm me.
Catch a flying roach.
They're gonna harm me
and release it then.
Catch a flying roach and put it in your pocket. Never let it fade away.
So do that for me. Next time I see you a catch and release.
I'm not saying I'm
it's
gonna.
Very that's the flying roach is serious. Stay no joke. The flying roach is all funny.
No, but I think because
till them wings open.
Because of the potential for a heart attack, you have to kill. Centipede, because of the potential for like biting and being poisoned, you gotta kill.
Gotta kill it.
The fly though. The fly. You don't have to get it.
That be in the garbage and then but the line.
Hold on, Jesus, what is this? Hold on, Jesus, what is this?
Cinema sin.
No, Annie.
No. I am
cinema sin. I'm weary.
See, and now you're canceling. Who's Tobert Alexander? Or Robert Alexander? I got okay. My thing's frozen. All right, you got it. My thing's frozen. Throw it away. He's saying throw. That's Robert. I think I'm Robert. She's saying throw Robert away.
I don't think she's saying throw it away because Annalise would say we dumb was listening to him when he was doing the dumbness. So why stop now?
Throw it away now.
I want you to know I don't support any of the ideas that are being because I'm conflicted. I'm conflicted.
You should come and singing. If I can see it, then I can do
and
it.
Only God in heaven knows what he was referring to when he said that.
If I just believe it, there's nothing to it. I believe I can fly.
I believe some of those songs that come from those people who are most conflicted and struggling the most.
He throw away the blood diamond. If you get a blood diamond, throw it away. Throw it away.
Julianne said she's going to sell it back.
Yeah, return it.
Oh wow, that's what Julianne said. I'm making money up.
Return to the sender. Mosquitoes must die. Shauna said mosquitoes must die because why are you biting me?
I think the ones that harm you, fair enough.
Julianne
fly don't hurt you.
You ever had a fly land on garbage and it land up your food?
It's not going to hurt you.
It's a bunch of germs in you.
Yeah, but there's lots of germs. There's germs everywhere. You're breathing in germs right now.
Still, not from a fly, and that's being in the garbage. No. Giuliani Road.
You all know my point.
He helped me believe in myself. How can he help me believe in ourselves? Imana says,
and you don't believe, so stop listening to it.
No, I need a constant reminder. In our flesh dwells no good thing. That's all of us, by the way. But we also have some talents and gifts from God. So we either cancel everyone or we choose the decent things and reject the nonsense. Don't throw the whole R. Kelly away.
Imana, that's profound. I like that. That's nice and balanced. Don't throw the whole R. Kelly away. Just throw the
first couple albums.
Sexy Time R. Kelly away. We having business meeting, guys.
Yeah,
just give us
a lot happening today.
A lot going on. However, Julie brought us power, so we're good.
Yeah. So
she said, "Don't throw the whole R. Kelly away. So only keep the inspirational R. Kelly. Throw the sexy time R. Kelly away. Even though I don't even know if you're being sarcastic or you're being
probably is. Hey, listen. Hey, listen.
Yeah. Anyway." You see how news and reviews turns into 47 minutes? Jeez, every time.
All I'm saying is I want my Nygaard jeans. Kelly's music is what it is. Just what my belly tuck in. She wanted some Nygaard Slims.
Everybody's priorities mean they're going to decide Slims. Which evil they want to dwell in. Okay, fine,
to me, that's the thing. To me is, it's not the lesser two evils, but it's all evil. Like these people are not Christians.
You can't stay away from all evil, eh? So just pick which evil you're going to stay away from.
Aren't Christians. They are, most of them, like we listen to secular music, most of them people, they sing about sin. And we still enjoy them. So sinners are sinners. So why do we pick which sinners that we're going to cancel and we don't cancel the rest? Why wasn't Jay-Z canceled when he was talking about he was selling drugs and that's how he made it? Why we don't cancel the rappers who rap about murdering people? And I can put 10 in you, and I can shoot you, pow, 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 and the thing goes, we don't cancel murderers for murdering. No, they said this.
We don't cancel murderers.
We don't cancel murderers.
Which murderers?
These are rappers who shoot people in that. They go to jail, they come back out. We can't wait for them to come out of jail.
I just want y'all to know.
Free my boy.
I don't listen to any other kind of
music. Free my boy. My boy out there in jail.
Kind of
free him.
No, Delton, you make a good point. Sinners are sinners. Why cancel them for sinning?
We still out here. Is it man on the floor? Exactly. Let me see.
And I just said yesterday where he gone. I just said something yesterday.
We still running.
I ain't see him in a little while.
We saw the pictures of our Caribbean friend. We saw the picture.
Oh Lord,
she was pretty toe up.
One thing about y'all ain't easy, boy.
We was like, anyway, guys.
I thought we was trying to live at a higher standard. I thought we was trying to go higher.
He was like, anyway, don't remember that.
But we say we staying in the shallow on these things, and that's that. That's the end.
So all the people who sell the drugs, they said they do crimes. So because there's racketeering, there's organized crime, that's the problem. That's the problem we have. That's our moral code, our moral standards. Is it? Put your comment in the group. Put your comment on live. So I guess Imana is saying that we should keep the You Save Me album. This is a pretty good album, by the way. That's why I did buy. With Happy People on the next side. It was a double CD one. I bought that from Best Buy. I can remember right there, Elite.
Focus.
I was there first. Then I ain't leaving. But that's my. So I just keep the inspirational one. Charlotte says Fashion Nova can give you that tacky looking for a woman of God.
I see it. You come to DGMT and get whatever it is you need.
So we have to be appreciative for the assignment that he had. But that assignment is nuts. So now we get a cancel him.
So if he comes out anyway, so Delton is saying everyone's a sinner, so no one gets cancelled. All right, so cancel culture is ungodly. Then don't mind people being exploited. Don't mind people exploiting others. Don't mind people exploiting the planet. Don't mind that. We all sinners, so it's cool. Everybody carry on smartly. Keep buying your cheap clothes that you know some little child in India is dying because of some just expensive jewelry. Don't mind that the Sierra Leonean, a generation of Sierra Leonean young boys have been wiped out for you to be able to. No problem.
Continue to listen to your favorite gospel artist who's just called Kissing the Man on Instagram. Continue to listen to him.
Whoa.
So we ain't got a lot.
Delton, I'm just asking questions. I'm just here to ask questions.
We ain't cancel.
So don't cancel anybody.
We ain't cancel our Christian friend who's kissing the man.
Okay.
The other male who's kissing the man.
So what do we do then? We turn a blind eye and pretend these things are not happening. Okay, so I'm agreeing with you now. I'm not disagreeing. I'm agreeing. We all sin. You don't pick which sinners you want.
About you,
Jesus Christ and him crucified. Clearly, nothing about you tells me or shows me that you know about this Jesus Christ and him crucified. Okay, so then what do I do? What's my responsibility? What's my responsibility? Please help me.
That you wish not.
Judy's in this room, guys. She's pretending she don't want to come on the mic. She don't want to come on the camera, but she want to raise her hand and ask questions in person. This is not how that works. We could put the camera on you, ma'am. She says she good, and Julie have new hairstyle and all. Julie ready. She ready. She DGMT ready. She camera ready. But okay, we can leave it alone. Let's get some of these comments because you're stressing me out. Judy, don't raise your hand. Type in the comments. You're talking about Fashion Nova.
Well,
E-Man, come in. E-Man, congratulations to you,
congrats,
sir.
E-Man.
Congratulations are in order. E-Man welcomed his little precious one into the world yesterday, and we are so happy for him and excited to meet him. The little him, not E-Man, because we met E-Man.
We know E-Man.
We were excited to meet the little him. So congratulations to you. Congratulations to Rose. I hope she's well. We got sidetracked one more time. Delton, I nearly say she don't hear you singing that loud in church. Well,
I don't have a mic, Andy.
Well,
I did the drum.
Now, mind you, I've offered Delton a mic several times. Yeah. I've said, Delton, we need you to to bolster one particular section.
I gotta do both.
Can you? Yes, you can.
Not strong.
I know people who've led praise and worship from the drums. It is possible.
Not this person.
Shauna, them Fashion Nova jeans don't fit my calves and ankles. I see y'all having personal conversations on DGMT via the live chat. They're too big for me at the bottom. My God fits perfectly. But anyways, this ain't the platform to compare jean qualities. I'm glad we came to that conclusion after I read the entire comment. Thank you so much. Everyone else is hit and miss. He was consistent. R. Kelly, he was consistently going back and forth between feeling a little saved and a little freaky. He was consistently inconsistent. That's the only thing I could agree on in that regard. Annie Lee say she should go and try go try on that new brand jeans, Dillard, what they have similar to Nike. And tell me how that feels. I thought we weren't talking about jeans. Anyway, exactly, Delton. They didn't cancel the Wars group. Sister had a baby and homeboy had a boyfriend.
Yeah.
We never did talk about the fact that she had a baby.
She had a baby? No, we not that. So why? We gotta cancel them.
Yeah, you don't cancel. We're all sinners. Dwayne say he just reached. What are we talking about today?
Typical baby.
Dwayne, we're talking about the fact that everyone's a sinner, so no one gets cancelled. So if your favorite gospel artist comes out as a homosexual,
that's fine,
kissing up on his tingum, his bae on the Instagram, no cancellation. If one of your favorite R&B artists, for example, Robert Alexander Kelly, is convicted of racketeering, we are all sinners, no cancellation. If you're, what else?
As Imana now says,
if the person,
one of your favorite gospel artists of all time. Ain't nobody cancelled.
First of all,
I can say
I trying to figure out what he did to get canceled. Imana.
What did he do, Imana?
Okay, don't come for me. Don't come for me personally. Me personally, y'all ain't gonna know what I can do. I might just cancel. I might just not. So that's the point. Forgiveness and grace for everyone. Oh, all of y'all are distributors of forgiveness and grace now. Interesting. Now give me my freedom and fly it. And in my jeans, thanks. Thank the Lord because you saved me was in my head for the last 3 weeks by Robert Alexander Kelly.
Yeah.
Delton, that
Make good songs.
we could close the suitcase on that one. We done. The matter of this business matter is closed.
Oh, we know the show must go on.
The show must go on. Julianne has her hand raised, Saint. So I'm gonna reiterate what she wants to say. Go on, Judy. So what Julianne said was she understands Delton's point, but she said, "Where as Christians do we draw the line? Because we're not supposed to judge people. But what about those Christians who are in law enforcement?" I would say to that, those people who are Christians who are in law enforcement, their job is to apply the law, so they can't circumvent their job. They might treat the person with forgiveness, with respect, be gentle, don't be discriminating, don't be disgusted when you talk to them. They are still your fellow man, a sinner saved by grace, or a sinner who can be saved by grace just like you, but you have a responsibility to apply the law. But my thing is, we giving all of these people a blight. We saying he sinned and I'm a sinner too, so it's cool. But what effort are we making to ensure that these people who we've entertained or these people who sin, we're kind of just overlooking so that we can live comfortably? Let's not lie. That's what this is about. Buying jeans or trousers from a particular a brand where the owner of the brand is an alleged rapist. That's for our comfort. All of these things are for our comfort. Buying clothes from children in sweatshops, jewelry from places where the gold or the diamonds have been obtained illegally. Yeah. All of that is for our comfort, for us to live comfortable, luxurious lives. But what in entertaining them and saying, okay, all of us are sinners, so let me not cancel anybody. What do you do on the flip side to balance that out? Are we actively preaching the message of Jesus Christ, the message of salvation, so that all of these people who have the potential to be saved, and that's why we're giving them a blight, because they can be saved just like me, they can have grace just like me. What are you doing to ensure that they do access the grace and the mercy that you have received, and therefore you are slightly more enlightened? Anyway,
that's my point. That's my thing on this thing.
Oh Lord.
Church does the church. Police and judge, they do the law. I do me. The man committed a crime should be fully charged, fully penalized for his crime. And that's that.
That's not on me.
That's not on me.
I feel like I could go with that.
He's criminal. He should go to jail. Because what he made, I like, doesn't mean I support what he did.
Right.
No, what he did was wrong. He should be in jail, locked up, and away from all manner of people. Because obviously he didn't discriminate. It was females, males, all part of the track, and blind. He should be locked up. However, there are artists whose music I buy who sing from behind these prison walls. I didn't buy them, sorry. I didn't buy them. But I had.
Who's singing
behind these prison walls?
Julie have a hand raised like she's in church, guys.
The man
for this camera,
singing
Julie.
From behind these prison walls. He made good music. You have position the way you are when you make the music. It's not really like, I don't have a problem with that. And now, as a sinner, I want you saved. Of course. However, as a criminal, you need to go to jail. And you, my friend, are a criminal. You need to be locked up. You need, as long as they can lock you up for and have the legal rights to, you should be locked up.
Okay. Delton, I go down with that. That flies with me. You know, I come here for y'all to just direct me, and I could go with that. Now, my question is, what about moral issues? So, for example, legally, and I use Primark as an example. I wish you guys knew about Primark because you'd understand what I was going about them so much.
I had the Walmart equivalent?
It's better than. Because it's like the Walmart equivalent for clothes, but it's just clothes.
It's only clothes, okay.
So it's not like, it's just clothes. Anyhow, I digress. That's a moral issue. that the people who are Primark isn't doing anything against the law, they wouldn't be able to be a shop. It's a moral issue. Like we know some child somewhere is being exploited, so I could wear these cheap but really, really fashionable clothes. That's a moral issue. That's not a matter of he's going to prison, let them be persecuted. Let them be persecuted for their crime, because it's technically not a crime. So if it's technically not a crime, then we determine it's acceptable to the rest of us, because that would imply that our moral compass is always in alignment with the law, and that's not true. I mean, the law allows a lot of dumbness.
The problem with those kind of statements are you can extend them and you can stretch them as far as you want to stretch them.
Right.
Because you know of, what is it, Primark? The shirt that I have on here, I don't know where this is made. If I trace back to where this is probably
so
made,
my knowledge should determine what my response is.
I mean, so if you saying that, then I should only buy clothes from people that I know who made the clothes. And I didn't know where you get the material from. I didn't know everything that you get the material from, just to make sure I am not endorsing some criminal somewhere down the line.
And I mean, that could go for food. That could go for anything.
That could go for banks. What banks do with their money? They put the money. So that kind of moral, to me, those kind of moral questions, they can be stretched so far and stretched so thin that it doesn't make sense to have an argument.
Do you know what came to mind? That's why the kingdom needs everything of its own. That's why we need to do everything. That's why we need to manufacture clothes. That's why we need to own banks. That's why we need to build duplexes and apartment buildings. That's why
certain communities like the Amish live the way they live.
Lord, that's what it is. We gotta be Amish.
I don't want anything away from y'all. I don't want nothing from y'all. I want electricity.
We gotta be Amish, guys.
I don't want y'all water. I don't want y'all clothes. I don't want y'all furniture. We have our community here. We do everything ourselves.
We gotta be Amish.
We support our own kingdom over here.
The Amish have the answer, Saints.
Yeah. They're like, no, keep your electricity.
Oh, we don't need that.
We can make it.
Oh,
and
goodness.
That's what they've been doing. So that
I wonder if the Amish have dial-up.
No, internet. What do you need it for? What am I connecting to?
To research.
You have Amish on TikTok?
No. I have that Amish girl.
She didn't realize.
You watch the thing about soaking?
Yeah. That's Mormons, first of all.
Oh, that was Mormons or Amish? Oh, that was Mormons. That was Mormons. Sorry.
They got me real. If they're on TikTok.
She say Amish on TikTok. Anyway, we digress. Okay. Guys, I feel better now.
Anyway, so that's my thing on it.
I can settle for that.
Y'all get saved. So
get saved.
Live for Jesus.
Live for Jesus. But don't mind. You don't have to cancel R. Kelly.
I mean, if you want to, it's your prerogative.
That's true.
If you don't want to buy it, first of all, I know where you buy music from. Nah, 2021. But if you don't want to buy any more of his music, don't buy any more of music. If when it comes on in your car radio, because you listen to Glory 93.9 because we're down at the moment, fine. Turn the dial. You see a video come on of him, turn it off. You do the same. You feel the same way about the Walls group, turn it off. You feel the same way with Kirk Franklin, because apparently to Imana he did something wrong. Turn it off. Like, it's your prerogative.
Fair enough.
It's your rights. Don't listen.
We are not here to tell anybody.
Leave me out your business.
What to do.
You don't have the right to tell me who to cancel. I will cancel who I want to cancel. That's my opinion on the whole situation. He might have put a hand on the head.
I would just put this as the last point, the comment. All of that before was the advocate. Vera's back now. I would say the whole cancel culture is a problem for me, because I don't want to be part of any culture y'all running. I don't care what you do.
I don't know y'all.
I don't know y'all like that. So no. In fact, I was gonna cancel him until you tried to tell me I must join cancel culture. Now I changed my mind, because I don't want to be part of anything y'all doing. I don't want to be on your bandwagon for nothing. So no, I will listen to his music now, mind you. I don't listen to that much to R. Kelly, but we digress.
I'm saying, like, that's not a part of my daily routine to listen to R. Kelly. If I hear, like you say, like at some most parties, whether believe or not, you can hear a little step.
I love that.
Step, side to side, round and round. You can hear that somewhere. I'm not gonna be like, hey, y'all turn that sin off, but let the other sinners play. No, it's not
powerful.
I'm not gonna turn that sin off. But the rest of the sinners, that cha-cha slide, let that run.
Just a thought. Persons want to disown R. Kelly and yet still watch Netflix after that outrage last year. What outrage did Netflix have last year? Dingham?
I mean the girls. You mean the
cuties thing?
The cuties thing. Apparently they say was.
But didn't we say once you watch it, you realize that was just a bunch of?
But then I mean, if you talk about Netflix on the whole, every show they have now is promoting some kind of homosexual agenda somewhere inside the show. All their new shows.
But that's TV.
Exactly.
There's no channel that's not doing that. Disney, for crying out loud.
They have homosexuals in Disney.
Give them time.
I'm sure it's coming too.
Didn't they say that I've heard a few things that Elsa is supposedly supposed to be.
Well, let's find reasons to make people homosexuals.
Exactly. Which R. Kelly songs are you advocating, Miss Vera? And I'm not advocating anything.
like, first of all,
no, advocate has gone on break. Let the other sinners.
Yeah, no,
Julie, I'm not Julie Jody. That's a powerful comment, though. Yeah, you say let the other sinners play.
That one. Let the other sinners
play. Nope. Delton,
run that.
You win today.
Run that Beyonce for me, though.
You win today.
And for someone on the live,
on the live,
run that Celine Dion. But
not with a reggae beat in the background.
No, run that Celine Dion, but you definitely cancel that. You cancel that. You don't play that. Sit around, yeah.
Isn't Celine Dion saved?
I don't know her business, though.
I feel like she is. Not because I know anything else, but like when I listen to her music, we're like, sis, use it.
She knows Jesus.
Just something about her.
She knows Jesus in the part number 6.
There's a depth to her songs. It's like, you know him. You may not know him, but you know him. The little girls dancing and everything displayed along with Disney. I'm thinking Beauty and the Beast. Beauty and the Beast.
I love Beauty and the Beast.
I'm weary. Y'all tiring me out.
There's so many things, but they say even in Sesame Street that they say Ernie and Bite was.
They're doing the most, man. No, they wasn't.
That's my thing. Like they going so far to just try. It's like, you know what? Let's leave it alone. Doesn't say that. Them be fighting words. I didn't say it. I didn't call any names. They say that. We come to a nice
conclusion. I like that, Delton.
Yeah.
I would agree with all the things that you have said today. We ready to dive into the central focal topic for today?
Yeah. So speaking of all of this, so who we've cancelled and how we hurt people feeling because we cancelled it.
Oh, nice.
Choit is the topic that we've been skirting around for a while. And I'm gonna put some. Let me put some money. I saw this last week. This week. I saw it this week on Uncle Fred's page, and I actually no. You talk about it before I post this. You talk about it first, and then I can post it because it almost seemed like a conclusion. I don't put the conclusion of the thing yet. So
let me see.
Talk about your trait. No, you talk about your trait.
Me?
Yeah.
I'm confused. I don't understand. So I mean, essentially, we've several topics. DGMT, our business is to talk church business. Mm-hmm. That's what we talk. We talk church business, and can't help but touch on this issue of church hurt, which is indeed one of the businesses we got to deal with in the church. Now, last week we were talking about what were we talking about again?
Church
no, it wasn't church hurt, but that came up. What were we talking about?
The musicians and stuff like that. I had musicians. One of the guys.
It came up with
he left church because they disrespected him.
This idea of being so the disrespect thing. Is that what you saw on Uncle Fred's page?
No.
I saw a thing about disrespect.
Oh, disrespect?
The idea that were you disrespected, or let me find it.
All right,
I saved it.
Let me put mine online then.
Yeah, so you put yours online. I'm gonna send you mine. So essentially, this came up last week because we were talking about musicians, how they behave, and then other people were talking about how they're treated, and how sometimes they're spoken to disrespectfully. We mentioned Paul Morton as an example, and that's when people were like talking about well, if I'm ever disrespected by my pastor, I'm gone. And we were like, but. Were they ever your pastor if you can feel so disrespected by correction? And then we thought, you know what? We need to just hit this whole church
talk about it one.
Now, before Delton puts it up, I think this week I was kind of thinking about it and I thought, what is the definition of church hurt? Because we already established that Delton and I are not experts in this topic because none of us have experienced what this thing called church hurt. But we don't want to. I don't want to. Let me speak for myself. I don't want to, from my lack of experience, now say it's not a real thing. I assume it is of course it's a real thing. People have experienced it. Because where would the name have come from? Where would this commonly understood phrase church hurt have come from if it wasn't some kind of real experience that people are having? So I said, I think we need to begin the show by defining what church hurt is. Because I don't feel like last week when we said, the musicians were disrespectfully spoken to, whether you agreed or disagreed, I don't think that falls in church hurt. So can we define, and this is not me coming with a definition preset, this is me asking y'all, clarify please. What is church hurt? What's the definition of church hurt? What's the definition we should work with as we proceed in this discussion?
I can't define it, right? But if I had to pick an example of
Delton, do it without being petty. Try
no,
your
like
best.
if someone if it asked me, give me an example of someone being like church hurt, I would say church hurt would be the female that's dating the musician or the male member of the church, and she gets pregnant for that person, and then she is lambasted and talked about and made to sit down in the back of church and make the, which I've seen and I've not seen it done personally, but I have known people who had to do it. They had to write letters to the church and get up and make an announcement in the church. And to me, those kind of, and that's, to me, if you leave because like they make you sit down and do all kind of like weird stuff because you were caught in sin, I can see that. You say that straight. I mean, yeah.
Okay, so from what you're saying, it sounds like humiliation, being humiliated.
Yeah.
So let's put these things under humiliation.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say something like unfair treatment because two people did the same thing or two people committed the same, crime in the church and were treated differently. So maybe some kind of unfair, so being unfairly treated when you think of how other people are treated for the same
intentionally
thing.
So.
Intentionally. Okay, so unfair treatment and humiliation, we're going to say they fall under church hurt. Okay, now my question to you is, those musicians that Paul Morton spoke quite harshly to in the moment felt humiliated. If they had left because they had experienced humiliation, would we say, is church hurt a subjective thing? Is it something that is determined by the person's feelings when it's done? From what I've heard, should it be the case?
From what I've heard, that seems to be the case. It's based upon your personal emotional state.
The flip side of that is, should church hurt be about the person's reception or should it be about the delivery? So, in the case of the woman who sat down because she was caught in sin and she gets pregnant, but the drummer boy who impregnated her kind of is just getting on with his life. No one really knows he's involved. No one seems to care.
Yeah.
Should it be about how she receives the treatment, or should it be about the intention behind the treatment, how it was delivered? Pastor Denzel's whispering, but you can all see him. Guys, tell Pastor Denzel hi. Yeah. As you lean towards him, you come into view of camera. Yeah. Right there. Okay. So Donicia is clarifying that. So we've got humiliation, preferential treatment. So should we include the term intentional or could it be accidentally done? Okay, because Jody, you're raising the question I'm asking. If it's in Pastor Denzel. Go, you leave. You go. Okay, so
one of us got to get out of meeting and say we can just slap you. The church?
But then
if it can be the church.
Hold on. But we are the church, Pastor Denzel. You are the church. I is the church. She's the church. He's the church. We is all the church.
Oh, that's the church.
Stop the word and let me. Okay. Huh? Write this down, Julie. We can pick this up. You coming on the end to say this again, or are you just throwing it out now? Pastor Denzel's going to a meeting, guys. So he just popped in and dropped his thoughts, and he's left. But we're gonna pull on some of the things he just said. Jody's talking about so it should be the intentional humiliation, intentional preferential treatment, intentional discrimination, intentional hurt. Because Pastor Denzel just raised an interesting point. We talk about church hurt, and I think it was somebody earlier on. She came in, KK, hey KK. She said, we ride that church hurt till the wheels fall off. Oh no, someone said something about, is it the church that hurt you or the people in the church that hurt you? And my thing is, aren't we all the church? And Pastor Denzel just said, well, if the church hurt you, didn't you participate in the hurting of yourself because you are part of this body called the church?
You are the church.
It should be about both. So it should be about the delivery and the reception. Okay. People agree in the bishop. Sometimes it's an abuse. Okay. So we've got intentional humiliation, intentional preferential treatment, intentional abuse. Can you abuse someone accidentally?
Yeah, I don't think when you use the term abuse, I don't.
Oh, Julie meant to say that the term church hurt is abused.
Let me post what your thing is that you said. Let's post this. What Vera sent me.
I saw it in one Trapsy group I joined just for material, right? And I really want to leave that group because they're annoying. But this is interesting.
So it says you have to learn the difference between someone disrespecting you versus you feeling disrespected. This is from one Kiraji. Emotional airs here from a place of offense. Sometimes it's not what they said, it's what you are triggered by. And unless you know your triggers, you'll see everything as an attack. It's a very good point to look at.
And I'm sure there are very few people that would disagree with this statement. I tend to find that people who are victims, and I'm using the language they would use, people that are victims of church hurt always will be a victim of church hurt, tend to find that they never ever rest after an experience of being hurt by the church or going through church hurt, because I assume that's what church hurt means. I was hurt by the church.
Yeah.
Now we could sit down and have a conversation about whether they hurt you or you felt hurt by what they did.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say there are not occasions where the church, and I'm using the church now in terms of the local church, a particular branch of this body that you are part of, in a collective sense. And when we think about collective, we think about what the leader's action tends to be sanctioned by the body. So that's why I feel like people will use the term church to talk about a whole group of people, because if the leader did it, that means there was a group of people that sanctioned it. And even if they didn't sanction it, they didn't challenge it, and therefore they condoned it.
Yeah.
Therefore, it's the church coming together. We shouldn't pretend that we as members of our churches are separate from our leaders. We are perceived in that way, and we want to be. We want to be perceived as a body. So let's not pick and choose when we are a body and when we are not a body. And I'm talking about like locally. The church is a body in terms of all of the parts coming together. We still working on that. We ain't get that.
No.
We still trying to fix that. So let's just take church hurt. Church meaning my local body, right? A local body. Its leadership and its membership by extension did something that either hurt me, I felt hurt by, or was done to hurt me. Because as I said, I don't think it's fair to say the church is never out. The church, local church, is never out to hurt people. Some leaders, some members, some board of directors, or some groups of ministers, they bad mind.
Yeah.
They bad mind. So let's not pretend that doesn't ever happen. And the first question I have for you and everybody is, in a situation where you do have a bad mind leader, a bad mind pastor, some bad mind ministers, and a bad mind membership, we all agree them set bad mind.
Yeah.
They do something, they action something that hurts another person. In that circumstance, should the person be, I don't want to say allowed. For those of us who are skeptical about church hurt, in such a circumstance, are we kind of understanding? Are we like, yeah, no, that makes sense. They're bad mind. You should leave.
If it's this, you say bad mind.
Bad mind, as in their intentions they weren't like going on biblical principles. They were trying to hurt you. They wanted you to feel embarrassed. They wanted you to feel excluded. They did it with bad mind.
Yeah, I mean, any person like that, first of all, it should be a pastor. I don't think as a pastor leader, that should ever be your intent, to intentionally hurt somebody. So is that okay for you to leave? I still won't tell you that. That'll be something between you and God.
That's what I wanted to come to.
I don't know how you get there.
Because I was going to say that because last week we kind of touched on it, and this idea that the action of the believer in every situation, especially one where it's conflicting and it's it could be potentially quite disruptive and destructive, not just to them, but to other members of this body, this family we call the body of Christ, should always be spirit-led. But I feel like there are some circumstances where we eliminate that level of consultation. Like, no, I'm genuinely upset. I'm genuinely angry. So I'm not even going to check with the Holy Spirit because I am entitled to leave. I am entitled to take an action because I was disrespected. And because I stand and live on the principle that no one can ever talk to me like that. So they talk to me like that and I'm gone. I don't need to ask the Holy Spirit. People can't talk to me like that. And I was like, so do we only consult when all things are equal, or do we always only check in with the Holy Spirit after the fact? Like, we've gone and like God opened a new door, because that was one of the things that came up last week.
If God opened this door, he'll open another one.
He opened this door, he'll open another one. And I really wish they were back online, because they talked about one they gave an example of what it looks like for God to open a door, where they were playing in one church, they left that church, and suddenly they have two churches to play in. And I'm assuming that they were getting financial reimbursement, or they were getting paid for playing in two churches. And so it appeared as if God had opened a better door. And I was like, that's very narrow-minded perception of what it is for God to work on your behalf. So, I mean, there are a lot of things to consider. And as I said, Delton and I are not experts on this topic. And so that's why we want to get your thoughts in this. Shauna says, what I never understood about those who scream hurt churches, how are you going to let what man did to you take away from Jesus? But what Shauna, what I would say is, I've had a lot of people say that hasn't stopped them from believing in God now. No. Now, there are some people who leave on church hurt, and that's it. They don't do church. They don't do Christianity no more. That's why I don't even fool with Jesus and Christians no more, because da-da-da-da. But there are some people that's like, I just don't go to church. I still believe in God. I still love God. I still pray with my Bible, whatever. I just don't go to church because of my experiences. Is just church people and church. I've heard
church examples as I give my offering to that church, and one time I needed help, and I go on to the pastor, and they told me they couldn't help me. And they left, and they never go to church again. I
mean, if we go on individual stories, we could criticize the individual stories.
I've heard that example of church hurt. Of
the validity of individual stories.
You give your offering, and then the pastor, you no money. So church people in church, they get hell. And so I go on.
I think the issue of church hurt, this is Marisha, is the expectation of perfection. I think we don't expect humanity from Christ's bride, even though he makes it very clear he's supposed to sanctify her. I believe that perfection is expected, and as a result, when flaws are exposed in personal matters, we claim her and aren't willing to give the same forgiveness and grace we want to receive. I think my challenge with expecting perfection is living in your own imperfection. How does that compute? And you said it perfectly. You expect us, you want forgiveness and grace in a way that you're not willing to distribute it.
Of course not.
Anyhow. But then are we saying there's no such thing as church hurt then? Because I need the people who have experienced this to come on the line.
Yeah, somebody to come and
because it sounds like the conclusion is the church is going to be imperfect. Suck it up. That's what it sounds like we're saying. And I don't think we should be saying that. Like, no, the church is a people say the church is a hospital. People come to people come to church to be mended. Just like if you go to hospital and you go in for one thing and you leave with a virus. You went in a place where there were lots of sick people, and it's a highly, highly likely possibility. Anyhow, I love the paragraphs there. I love a paragraph. Apostle Gail said something in a service I was at that I kept and will never forget. Did they try to kill you? Julianne, you were coming to my concluding point. I love it. Reference being David and Saul. My feelings must be separated from my assignment. God sent me there to receive from a person or a group of people. If they can't control their feelings and they act out, I must look past that and stay. Now, I won't be abused, but I won't let people's lack of self-control separate me from what God has for me. Julie, my question to you is, what is the line of abuse? Do you determine the line of abuse? Because God might send you there. God send you there and say he wants you to receive something from this group of people. And God is also talking to these group of people like, I need y'all to act right because I need y'all to do X, Y, and Z. Because he sent Miss Pamela there because Miss Pamela need X, Y, and Z. Pastor and his people there, they ain't get themselves together and they don't get X, Y, and Z. So Miss Pamela never gets X, Y, and Z. She never gets what she went there for. And so after a while, doesn't she just can't Miss Pamela just up and go? You're Judy talking.
An approach said people, because sometimes people leave and they don't even say what they are.
Julie preaching my message. Julie says she thinks Miss Pamela has the ability, the responsibility to approach Pastor X, Y, and Z. And I think Judy's raised all the points I had, all my Bible points in the back of my head. I was going to reference David and Saul, and I was going to reference the biblical principles for how we deal with conflict, how we deal with hurt, how we deal with disagreements and tensions in the church. There is a process that we're supposed to follow. I feel like if you follow due process, the Bible gives you allowance. The Bible says you hand them over to Satan and you carry on smartly. I think too often we jump from point A to point Z without following the steps in between. Did you approach your brother? Did you then approach the elders? Like, we don't follow the steps and then we jump to the end because no one could talk to me like that.
Brush off our feet. We brush our feet out, treat them like anything that we got.
Talk about it. They even talk to everyone else about it. But the person you left because they don't even know they do something.
Delton, mic Julie up, babe. This is getting silly now. Julie said, guys, if you for those of you that didn't hear, she said too often those who experience church will leave and talk to everybody else about what they've experienced, while those that have hurt them, and that's not to say that their feelings are not valid, but those that have hurt them are not aware of their pain because they haven't expressed it. But we're more willing to wash our dirty laundry in public.
Oh yeah.
Than to clean up our houses.
That's the approach. No. I could talk about you after I leave. That church over there, don't mind them. That girl named Vera go there. She stank.
Guys, I be trying. I really working on my facial expressions.
And the Africans come out. No.
That's why I tell when I see members of my church or my neighbors and they sending their children to my school, don't put that child in my class. I don't want to teach them.
I don't mind. I want to see what she can them.
I don't want to teach
them. My child's in the class. She rude. She gave my child an F. All because
no. That child can report everything I do in the class today. Mom, Pa, I cannot afford that. Julie said, I think many hurt people don't address the situation. They just leave and don't sort out the issue. The people don't even know they hurt you. Okay, so Julie, you did type your comment. I'm sorry for attacking you. You did say it. Latoya McKinney, good afternoon. As Julie said, the church hurt term is abused. It spans from the simplest offenses that others may know nothing of to you being publicly shamed for your fault. So it covers like everything. It covers every kind of emotional reaction we have to our church experiences. Can church hurt be an umbrella term? I think it is an umbrella term, but now I guess the discussion is, should it be an umbrella term? Should we just be using it
willy-nilly? Willy-nilly.
I've experienced it and honestly, I was hurt. However, I realized Maya was right. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. Most people, in terms of offense, automatically protect themselves first. Self-preservation is human instinct. And at the end of the day, I realized I was hurt by them, but they preserved themselves. So I had to let it go. First of all, I'm trying to understand it. I'm trying to process it. That's why I didn't respond straight away. So, Marisha, is this an instinct? And is this an instance? Sorry, where you approach the person about the hurt you were feeling, and you said I experienced it. When you say it, what do you mean? Church hurt? Because then you speak about an individual, or you say they preserve themselves. So is this a group or is this a person? Do we define church hurt as a body? Like, I just want to probe it a bit more.
That's hurt from within the church.
So I was hurt in the church.
I was hurt in the church, aka church hurt.
Imana, come with the word again. The arms of flesh will fail you. That is on every level, including the church. The key is to be led. Sometimes God allows hurt to mature us or to let us see we should not depend on man, but on him, because man is imperfect. And then sometimes our season is up. Ah, Lord, Imana, she went there. But we too comfortable to leave. So he makes us uncomfortable so we can move. Like I said, be led.
That brook dry up. Get another brook dry up now.
I think this is one principle I live by. I try not to do, I can confidently do anything I know God has told me to do, because I know if it goes downhill, this on you, bro. This on you. There are some things I'm presently doing in my life and people are like, why? I'm like, trust me, this is not my personal choice. And when this gets rough, I can look back at the person who led me to this place and say, hello, hi, this on you. But the question is, do we have enough of that? Because we got to go back to the root of the issue. We've had this conversation on DGMT before. How do people choose church? 9 times out of 10, it's not because they're led by the Spirit. Because we believe being led by the Spirit is because we enjoyed the music. Mm-hmm. Like the music agreed with the music agreed with my spirit, so I was led by the Spirit.
It was good vibes.
You understand what I mean? Like I enjoyed the vibes. So I agree 100%, Imana, but then we have to go back to the beginning game. Because what if you didn't? What if you weren't led by the Spirit and you ended up there? What do you then do? Do you understand what I mean? Like you weren't led by the Spirit to go there. Do you up and leave? Because Spirit, you never sent me any. If I could just go. Because you didn't leave me like, oh, now I could. When I've not been led, I can just make decisions on my own. Yeah. Or do we pull him in after the fact? Do you know what I mean? Right. Anyway, Marisha said church hurt. I understood. I kind of wanted you to narrow it down because we talked about church hurt being embarrassment, all that kind of the various things that fall under church hurt. Latoya McKinney, church people may be saved, but so many of us need to be born again. Mighty God. One thing about y'all on here. A lot of church hurt is born out of religiosity. That sounds like something my mommy would say. Religiosity. And not the love that Christ admonishes us to give unto others. Latoya, potent. Delton, I done.
Jody Ann says, do we see our adversary, the devil, in this hurt? Can we see him trying to sever our divine connections? Do we even process the hurt to see the root issue? Do we see the roots? Do we see the devil behind us? Do we see that this could be one of them little foxes that trying to uproot us on our church?
But Delton, the people would say, don't tell me this is a little fox. This is a huge fox.
All right, a huge fox.
You can't tell me my hurt is a small fox.
All right, sorry. Let me Franklin say you back. Franklin eating get a ear twist. Come on now. Right, it says church hurt comes from the people that have been hurt. So you see the church people, so hurt people is hurt people.
Oh, sound like Jonathan Reynolds. Hurt people is hurt people.
Yes, hurt people. Let me post what I saw online from Uncle Fred. Uncle Fred posted Saturday.
I really wish those people that were here last week were here.
Yeah.
They told us they was going to come and tell us about their experiences.
They hate me. I am DGMT hurt.
Oh man.
I have DGMT hurt. The comment, this is what the comment said online. I like it. About the modern church. One of the greatest downfalls of the modern church is, let me take this comment off the screen so you can see it. We have replaced that convicts me with that offends me. And that's one of the problems that we have faced where this church hurt comes from. There are a lot of things of persons who I talk about church hurt. It's because you were sinning. I know you get called out for your sin. And you don't want to get called out for your sin. You want to stay shacking up. You want to stay sleeping around.
Like sis who exposed the letter online.
Yeah, and when you get called out, then people don't know how to talk. Ma'am, you will, sir, ma'am, sir. You like God has told you this many occasions, but you continue to live in sin. That grace should abound. God has forbid. And so a lot of times when exposure comes, we brand exposure as church hurt. And no, that's these conviction. You should stop. And so when someone tells me that I shouldn't do this, or the pastor that God has assigned to me, or I've been assigned to, gives me a word that I don't like, and I don't have to be public. A lot of times it's not public. It could be in a session.
That's why no one in church understands why you left.
Yeah, so Vera bring Ntumfume to Pastor Denzel, and Pastor Denzel say, Vera, Ntumfume ain't it? Like, so we believe Pastor Denzel that Shift Temple is here. We believe Pastor Denzel that my best days are here. We believe Pastor Denzel that you're going to walk into the best days of your life. We believe you're a man of God or woman of God when they give you a prophecy that comes to pass about certain things. Or if they tell you something that you don't want to hear, then their pastor don't love people. And they hate and don't want to see you happy. They hurt me and they offend me. I got to go.
I think Jody raised when she came back and she said, not just the devil being the issue, but our own insecurities and flaws. The hardest thing to do is see past your own nose. I think the kind of introspection and self-awareness that comes from being able to perceive that I am hurt because I have got these issues. I think that's so difficult. And as Marisha said, a lot of the actions taken are just that human instinct of self-preservation. I have to remove myself from something that is hurting me. I don't necessarily know how to process it. I don't necessarily know how to distinguish my hurt from my previous experiences and the trauma that I faced and my own insecurities. I think a lot of the time, those that walk away from a situation that actually would have been better dealt with if they spoke to their leaders or they spoke to their brother or sister that had hurt them and dealt with it the biblical way. Because I think my biggest issue is, no, there's Bible for this and y'all ain't doing Bible. So I don't want to hear your voice because you didn't. If you follow Bible, go ahead. But if you're not doing Bible, I don't want to hear from you. I don't care how hurt you were. Like, there's guidelines for this. And those guidelines were not set out with exceptions. They're there for they cover all of these. They work in all of these circumstances. If it's a case where you're physically in danger and you can't do it, then there's police for that. Do you know what I mean? But I feel like, do we have the level of self-awareness and introspection that allows us to make those kind of distinctions? Especially those people that are on the cycle of church hurt, that have always got one foot out of the door as a result of, I don't let no one speak to me that way. So if I hear that, the fact that you have that way in your mind, like, I don't let people talk to me in any kind of way, that any kind of way came from an experience. The fact that you have this marker, this standard that if somebody hits that ceiling in terms of your tolerance of what people can and cannot say to you, you're leaving, that comes from something you've experienced. And that kind of introspection, that kind of self-awareness, that's while a lot of it is spiritual, a lot of it is mental and about the health of your mind. And how you process your emotions. I'm going to give you a transparent example. One thing I have realized, is if God don't do it, it won't get done. That's not what I was going to say.
Distraction.
I've talked about this before on DGMT, that I have a counselor. I don't even call her a therapist, a counselor, like an emotional mentor. That's what she calls herself. Emotional mentor. And that has opened my eyes to a lot of my emotional filters. So I'll give you an example. I have had to learn, those who know me, and some people have said this publicly, I have a strong spirit of cut off. Like, if something upsets me, if someone does, like, it doesn't take anything for me to cut people off and like leave. And I realized that that's how I process and deal with a lot of things. So I would much prefer to walk away from a situation than to talk about it and process it. But once I became aware of it, that was a thing that I was doing, that was like an emotional reflex that I had, I was able to stop and say, I'm not going to walk away from this situation. I need to have a conversation about it. And I sat down and I spoke and found out where that rooted from or where that came from. But I had to be made aware of it. Childhood. It's a childhood experiences. Anyway, I had to be made aware of it in order to be able to sit down, recognize it happening again, and then counteract my natural instinct with what was the godly thing to do. My emotional mentor is godly, by the way. She's a woman of God. Don't let her. Anyhow, but I think we don't necessarily we got a lot of tongues, but that kind of the understanding of our minds, being able to sit down with these thoughts, unpack them, and not let them take control of us. I think as Christians, sometimes the hype and the shouting moves us further and further away from that, makes us feel like we're less responsible for dealing with that. Like, the Holy Spirit's going to deal with my mind. Don't worry about it. Do you know what I mean? My mind's going to be renewed by my shout and by my tongues. No. Sometimes you got to sit down and you got to process some things. And I think a lot of the time when I watch people who are on this, as I said, cycle of church hurt, because it seems to be, for me, I don't know one person that was hurt here, left and went here, and then sat down and was happy for the rest of their life. It just seems like those people are never ever satisfied. They bounce in. Julianne made it. I think she typed it. She was talking about she wrote 3 paragraphs. Let me read them. Because of who I am.
I feel like you and Julianne is like me and you last week. I had nothing to say Because like you said, anything I wanted to say this week. See like
Julianne say it?
Julianne said anything she wanted to say this week.
Julianne, write 3 paragraphs. I don't need to say the rest. Franklin say, because of who I am, I can say my church hurt. What does that mean, Franklin? What do you mean by that?
When you type in. Hopefully you type in.
Hopefully you type
in. Say what.
Type in the rock, and then when Julie come in the 3 paragraphs to interrupt. So not to discredit legitimate victims, but there seems to be a correlation between church hurt victims and church hurt. If 5 different churches hurt me, maybe I should take introspection instead of looking for a new church. Julie, kindred. Leaving a church was one of the hardest decisions I ever had to make. It isn't one that that should be taken lightly, and I feel it's being handled very flippantly, and that's a red flag. Like, if you can very easily just get up and leave,
I would head out.
Like, if that's not even a challenge for you, like if you can do it without anybody knowing as well, like it doesn't even. And I said this to Delton, how was you and me friends? You left and I had to ask somebody to find out where you've gone. Why was that? Why was that so easy for you to do? Mm-hmm. And I say that as somebody who knows I have problems with that. I have a tendency to get up and walk away. Do you know how Jesus have to wrestle me down to stay in the Bahamas? What do you think this is?
He had to wrestle you.
And he had to wrestle me. Wrestle. That's what the Americans say. Wrestle. And Julianne, I'm with you 100%. Red flag. Like, if it's easy for you to get up and leave, that means she was never there. And if you can never be settled in a place, of course you're going to be easily hurt. Because it's people who are church are always the people on the fringes too. Do you understand what I mean? The people who are inclined to be hurt by the church and then so easily leave, and everyone's like looking around like, hold on, someone's just gone. Yeah. All the people that they always sit on the fringes anyway. And I think once you sit on the fringes, you're never like, and that's not everybody, but the vast majority of people I know, when you're on the fringes, you make it easy for yourself to leave and you make it easy for yourself to be hurt. And as Jody said, we have to look for the root of these things. We have to look for the adversary in these things. We have to look for our own insecurities in these things. Last paragraph from Julie for now, because I feel like she come back. Church isn't a place where I come to make friends and have a good time. Those things will happen, but that's not what life is governed by. God has to send me there. I can't play with my life. Me being out of position compromises my life and my purpose. Risky business. I think Franklin came to say,
you can't see your trade.
Because of who I am, I can't say my church hurt. Yeah. Right. Franklin, qualify that. When you say because of who you are, what do you mean? I've been hurt by the church and I hate the idea of moving around a lot. Not everyone has been hurt by the church hops.
Yes, I know some of
the Agreed.
Some of the stuff, they shut the whole thing down. They shut the whole church thing down. Some don't go back to church. But then there's some who find the right church.
But then I think in those cases, because I started off by saying, there are circumstances where someone is genuinely being abused, where the intention sometimes is to hurt a person.
I got a personal message about a person that's church hurt.
Okay.
Let me get it up for you now.
What do you mean get it up? You're going to put it on the screen?
No. But
I agree, Marisha. Not every person that has been hurt by the church hops. And I also think, but then I think also the way in which they deal with it will differ as well. I think the people that can be hurt, leave a very difficult situation and go somewhere else, tend not to be the ones that had all the business on the streets. Tend to be the ones you never know have been hurt by the church. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like the way they've moved from one place to the next means that actually they probably could go back to the place that they were hurt and still have quite healthy relationships with the people that they've left there. It's the ones that cut all ties, badmouth where they've left, can't never go back, that seem to never be able to settle because we waiting to see if on their Facebook status they're going to bash the last church they leave. You understand? It's kind of like we got an eye on you. But I understand. I agree with that.
Let me give this. This is from a friend of mine that we did music together at COB.
Read this last comment from Franklin and then do that and take me off the camera, please. Thanks.
Oh yeah, take you off the camera. But I want you to get the story. You don't want to get the story?
No, I can get it. All right. I can stay close by.
I'll keep the line in the middle of me to make it seem like Vera's still there, but she's not here. Church hurt can sometimes be looked at as tribulations that work patience. So it works in your pain. Patience is waking. Patience is await you. So let me read this story now. I think I want to actually wait till Vera go outside to come back. I'll start it off. So Julianne, if I tell Julianne the name, she'll She don't remember who this person is, but we went to it was COB then. COB back in the day, we did music together, and they said the problem was this is their example of church hurt, that their church sent them on a scholarship, all expenses paid. That right there don't sound like church hurt to me. It sounds like a church blessing. So all expenses paid by their church, which ones let me start by saying I commend the church. The church did an excellent job right there for any church that was willing to send someone off for school. But anyway, so the church sent them off to school on an all expense paid scholarship. So after COB they left. They offered it to them after you got the first part that the church paid for their school, all expense paid, gave them a scholarship. All expense and put you back in the camera for yours back inside.
What's the story? What I missed?
No, that's why I tell you. That's why wait till you come back. You tell me read it. I was telling them that this is a friend of mine, so we went to COB together.
Right.
Did music together. Oh, and I didn't turn your mic back on. Like I say, if I tell Juliana, you wouldn't know them. Juliana know who they are from COB. You back in the camera?
Yeah, but it's blurry. Okay, it's focused.
Yeah, go back in there. So church paid them, gave them a scholarship, all expense paid. Somehow along the line, their pastor left. And the people from the church was like, but that scholarship situation. Yeah, no. So they were already away in college, first year done. So they came back now like, hey, time for payment again. Where pastor is. About pastor.
Right.
Pastor no longer works here. I mean, not work, but pastor's no longer here. And about that scholarship thing, it's a no fuss. So the person they had to fund the remainder of their education, and after they were finished, they paid, did all they had to do. Then they went back to the church. They didn't want to leave because it's still you attached to the church.
Mm-hmm.
You spirit led, it's your church. So regardless of that, still there. Go back to the church after they finish, looking for something to do now. Of course, by this time now they didn't replace everything that they was doing before because you gone. And obviously the church, and so had a meeting with the leaders, and they was like, "Yeah, we ain't want you back like that." So the church stopped paying for the scholarship, stopped paying all the fees that they were paying, stopped giving them any kind of little financial stipulation that they were getting beforehand. When they came back, wasn't doing anything for them. They didn't try to help them in their pursuit. Church.
Question. Did the church hurt him or her, or were they hurt by the church?
For Delton purposes, I still the church hurt me. Because I feel like in order for that to happen, that's the leadership of a church deciding something.
Right. That doesn't go in your favor.
No, that's done before. I mean, like so Pastor Denzel says, Delton, we send you off.
Right.
To further your education. We see what you're doing in music. We want you to go deeper.
Right.
Send you off to school.
Higher, deeper, higher.
We're going to pay for you to go to school. That's established.
Right. Uh-huh.
First semester, that money was sent, paid for.
Right.
I come back.
Pastor Gondo.
Yeah.
It's a new administration.
But I mean, the administration, they knew the pastor. It was like...
Yeah, they didn't like pastor's decision.
So they was there.
I kind of feel
they was there when pastor...
No. I completely... Like, if I was in that position...
And pastor was there. They was there.
If I was in that position, I probably would have done everything that person did. Everything. Exactly the same.
Leave? Do you leave though?
No. I would have gone off, finished it. I would have funded myself because this is something I want for me.
Yeah.
Never mind you'll send me off and you sent me money. Like, the question, like, would I have pursued further education without the church's assistance? I probably would have. So, okay, that little thing that was going to help me out is gone. That would be a blow, but I wouldn't say the church hurt me. I'd be like, your leader's stinking petty. But I don't know the circumstances. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you don't know the circumstances. You don't know what it meant financially for the church to send you off. I'm not making excuses for them, but I'm saying, again, was it bad mind or was there slightly more to the story?
No.
And that's when I say I feel like when it's bad mind, and that's the only way I can encapsulate what I mean by when there is an intention, someone has set out to hurt you, has set out to do you bad. And sometimes people do things that look like they've set out to do us bad, but actually when you get down to the root of things, because we all live in our own minds with our own filters of what people are doing and why they're doing it.
Yeah.
So I would have finished my education. I would have gone back to my church, because that's my church. I would have gone to slot back into what I was doing and see other people in the place, them tell me, can't happen for you no more. And I would have been equally as devastated. But I wouldn't conclude these people are out to get me. I would try and get to the bottom of it. I'd try to be like, just so I can understand a bit more. Because I feel like 9 times out of 10, when you can understand why somebody does something they do, you're less likely to... you can have a different emotional response. Once you understand that, oh, you weren't trying to hurt me, you just forgot to call me back. Like, I sent you an important message about my life. Like this morning, a very good friend of mine, she sent me a very long voice note, maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago. I listened to the voice note and I realized I can't send a voice note. I need to call her. Can't call her now. This morning now, as I was sorting out my laundry, I remembered I never called her. Now, on her side, of course, she's probably thinking, I opened up my heart. I told her about my difficult situation, and she just left me in the lurch. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But actually, if you sat down and had a conversation, you'd be like, she forgot, because this silly girl is forgetful. Do you know what I mean? I feel like so much of the issues that we have with people can be solved if we sit and talk to people. It's not going to make the fact that you had to work 3 years any easier to get yourself through college. It's not going to make the fact that now that you're back in town and looking for something to give you a little ting, and ain't no ting to give you a little ting, so you have to go look for a different job or get your supply somewhere else. It's not going to make it easier, but the emotional pain or the emotional turmoil can be assuaged a bit by knowing their intention wasn't to hurt me. Talking to people goes a long way. And that's inside and outside of the church.
Yeah.
And as I said, I don't feel like we do enough of that in the church, because all of us so full of the Holy Ghost, we don't want to talk to nobody.
Yeah.
We don't want to talk to anyone because we're all too sanctified.
Right.
Like, have human conversations like, sis, you realize that was disrespectful, right?
Brandon says he's still at the church where the hurt took place. And through all of the hurt, God matured him and also showed me that what I needed to do was work on he didn't work on himself. So I need to work on myself. That's what Franklin says. He also says that they were hurt by the church. They should have kept paying for that person. According to Vera,
Says who?
According to Vera,
Says who?
it's a new day.
No. But my thing is, says who? On what determination? They should have. Based on what? Did they have a written contract that they broke?
So,
You say they should. It would have been nice if they did, but to say they should, I don't know about that. Because again, what were the circumstances in which they withdrew their sponsorship? Now the circumstances might be, we really didn't like how he played the drums anyhow. So we're not. Or the circumstances could have been, we didn't know how serious he was about pursuing further. It could have been a bunch of things. So to say they should have, I don't know about that. Because you all realize further education is like a privilege, right? To be able to pursue further education and have someone sponsor you.
But to me,
that's not a right you get from being at the church. Especially because it sounds like this person was being paid by the church while they were there. So it wasn't like, you worked for free all these years. This is how we're paying you back. We're sending you off to school. This sounds like we're doing something really, really nice for you. And they withdrew it. Now that's not nice. To withdraw it is not nice, but to say they should, I don't know about shouldness.
To me, let me say why I say should, because I believe that the church leadership should be continuous. So I don't think a new leader should come up from a church that does not have the same heart as the old pastor.
Is it about heart though?
I mean,
is this an issue of heart? Because now we're talking about something different altogether.
No, but I mean, in terms of that, so to me, that seems now political. It seems like how it is now with the new day. That's so, like, for example.
So you feel like because we're in church, we should just honor our word. You said it.
All our ambassadors who were away, they were asked, as I talked about last week, to tender their resignation. So once the news got to me that pastor's no longer there, so you're saying that I should assume that I gone. I come back home, then go back to COB.
But you say the leadership shouldn't change. Was there a new pastor?
Yeah, the pastor's gone.
No, but the new pastor, was it like Did that person come up from the ranks, or did they just come in from outside?
Oh, I know.
Anyway, I understand what you're saying. I understand. Mopi's agreeing with me.
The person come back and say they were never paid by the church. And it was a leadership decision, not a single pastoral decision for both. So it wasn't like...
So the leadership
said they pay for
and
the
then
school.
the leadership changed
And
their
then the
minds.
leadership changed because
Did the leadership say why they changed their minds?
I don't know. We'll find out.
No, I'm asking because
I
I know
said
this
it.
person's listening.
I said.
Please, yeah, let us know.
we'll
Did
find
they
out.
say why they changed their minds?
We'll find
Did you
out.
inquire as to why you changed your mind?
Next time on
listen to
DGMT.
me.
Thank you
Listen
very
to
much for joining us.
Person who's sending Delton private messages. I would have done everything you did, and I probably would have felt exactly the same way you did.
This is Delton. First, I was getting the contract. That's the first thing. I'd be like, "What, y'all doing that for me?"
But you know what it is?
Sign right here for me, though.
It's that thing Marisha says. We kind of expect perfection. There's certain
true.
allowances we give church people. Like, I shouldn't get a contract from church
Not
people.
for
Y'all
Christ.
said it, and y'all gonna do it.
Yeah. However, like Imana says, the arm of flesh will fail you. Can I get this in writing, please?
Imagine living like that though, always around your church people. Yeah, but your arm's gonna fail, isn't it?
Soon.
Like, come on, if you could trust anyone, it should be your church people. That's what Jodie's saying. Was there an explanation or a conversation? That's what I would like to know.
Exactly.
That's what I'd like to know.
Mostly that was exactly agreed. Vera.
And that was she said that when I was talking about we need to talk with people. This is one rule I live my life by. I'm not going to hold something against someone that I'm not willing to have a conversation with them about. If I choose not to talk about it to you, it's because I'm choosing to let it go. But there's no way I'm going to not talk to you about it and then be holding it and brewing inside of me. No, sir. That's too toxic. So if I'm not willing to have a conversation with someone about something, then I am choosing to let that go. And my emotional mentoring has revealed that 9 times out of 10, I ain't even letting it go. So I got to have a conversation.
You have a psychiatrist?
That works, buddy.
You know, I mean, you crazy, you know?
That doesn't mean I'm crazy.
What you mean?
I mean, I got a smidgen. Anyone who meets me, I got a smidgen.
You got a hint crazy?
They know that the person did not have the money.
Yeah, I know. The hurt can come from perception and not perspective.
Come on in here.
Chelsea Miller.
Chelsea, that's nice.
Perception comes from man and perspective. Hey,
Woo!
it's from God.
I feel that. I felt that.
It's a hurt from
Chelsea, that's good
perception.
though. And not perspective. Perception comes from man. Perspective comes from God. I like that.
Oh,
I like that.
That's fake. The person, I almost wish the person could have called in to explain the story. Just like
they added new layers.
The situation is complicated.
That's what the person said.
Because apparently they weren't the only one. There was 3 other persons. I mean, there's 2 other persons, so it's 3 in total.
So all of them.
A voice changer.
Okay. So question, were they the only one who didn't receive further?
Yeah.
But friend, you should have started off with that. Because we said from the beginning of the show that preferential treatment comes underneath that.
Yeah, they didn't pay their own way. The other 2, they didn't pay their own way. So and that's not how
and then
no, but wait, there's more. Apparently, like this is like a family church. And they know like money was there for the church because a family member of them. No, that's too much.
Why I feel
okay.
And now this is where, based on this story, I would speak to church people, and I say church people, like being church leadership. Y'all too like pretend that people don't have feelings. You know what I mean? Like leaders feel like I'm the leader. Y'all watch Aristocats. I'm the leader. I'll say when it's over. This idea that like leadership don't have to explain their decisions to anybody. I don't like that. Yeah. I understand that you're the leadership. I get it. I get that there are certain things God will tell you to do and you just do it. And you don't need to explain yourself to anybody. You just make those decisions. Like I've heard it before. I know of it. But part of me is like, you cannot then expect people just to give you a blight because you're the leader. People are people. People have feelings. So in that kind of situation, they need to sit down and have a conversation with that person. For what? Because that is only ever going to be perceived as discrimination. Now, Chelsea's telling us it's not about perception and perspective. But do we have to? Do we have to force our members to go to God and find answers that we could give them? Because in this case, very clearly, me, and two other people are going away, their money is continued, mine is taken away with no explanation, how am I going to feel? Just like human. Now I could go to God and get perspective, and God can say, peace be still, I'm going to provide for you, I look after the sparrows, I got your back, I get through school and I come right back to where I'm going. That's fine, but that didn't need to happen. That didn't need to happen, because as much as we're spiritual beings, we're still human beings. So it's kind of like, why couldn't you just tell me? Okay, you don't have to explain all your decisions to me, but come on now. You setting yourself up for me to feel hurt. Person who on the line, I'm really glad you got through school in the end, mate. I'm glad you made it.
No, it's pretty good.
I'm glad you made it. But Chelsea, I need to. How could we star some of these comments? That comment needs a star.
Star next to it.
You need to put star next to it.
So Jody tried to go to Jody said, did they go and lead a pastor to pay, or was that one of the goodness of their heart? Either way, that's a rough situation. And we come to find out that it wasn't just a pastor. It was a group. It was the leadership. And tell you the only one that's done for Christ will last. Only. Jody, I say, yeah, and I would be so hot. Yeah, arms can feel me. I know that. I look at you, I say, you know what? Your arms can feel me. I didn't even hold on to this.
These church people.
I say that's exactly what church hurt is. The expectation that these folks operate at a higher standard and then they let you down. Of course, it does not come down to one's perception.
It does come down to
one's
perception.
It does come down to one's perception.
But Chelsea's giving us the answer.
Yeah.
Elevate yourselves.
Wow, this is a lot. Imana says God warns us though, so don't walk around skeptical, but just know it can happen. Don't expect anything from anyone. That way you won't get disappointed, but rather surprised when they do
Imana,
right.
we can't live life like that.
I can't live no expectation
That's not
from
healthy,
anybody.
babe. Like when you expect people to disappoint you. It's a difficult balance though. It's a difficult balance when because we cannot, as children of God, be living. That's something less than apathy. That's not even because apathy, you expect nothing. This is like you expect disappointment. That's not worse.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you can't put your trust in man. It's a delicate balance.
I won't lie today.
Lean on Jesus, because I guess Jesus will lead you to the people.
As yesterday when I talked to Vera, she said she had cookies. I said, Papa, you want cookies? Because I was like, you know what? The arms of flesh, they will fail.
But then, Delton, was it a case of the arms of flesh or the arms of Vera? Because sometimes, as Marisha said, Maya say, if a person shows you who they are, you gotta believe them.
So I was like,
if I told me I was bringing cookies tomorrow, I would have brought cookies because I didn't trust me. So I don't know if this is the arms of flesh or our arms of Vera. But then, you know what? Listen, I guess you got to use perspective rather than perception. Use perspective to assess the kinds of people you will put your trust in. Because I don't think we can. We're not designed to live as islands and to believe that everything we need is within ourselves, and not understand that actually there are people God puts in our lives to supply us with whatever we need. So, absolutely. So if you have, I think there's balance, and you have to use, as Chelsea says in this, because we're using this word today, perspective, to allow yourself to be drawn to certain people, to put your trust in certain people, and not make connections from a fleshly place. Make divine connections, because when the connection starts to fail, you hold it up to the one who connected you rather than in the person you're connected with.
Yeah. Frank says church leadership carries on like the CIA, only on a need to know basis, and you don't need to know. It's only a need to know basis, and that
is definitely, as someone who was born and raised in the church, I have become accustomed to.
Oh yeah, you don't need to know.
It just
happens.
You only know what you need to know.
Not go sing a song. Imana says, no, you're not walking around thinking they will disappoint you. She says, just don't have any expectations. That way you won't get disappointed in people.
Imana, that's not better.
No.
That's not a better version. Having no expectations. Okay, we've leveled up to apathy now. That's not better.
Now we got up.
We've leveled up to apathy.
We are the
rather than being pessimistic. Because Imana is saying, don't be pessimistic, be apathetic. And then she's going to try and say she's neutral. No. Having no expectations of people is not healthy. That's not healthy, because then because I feel like if you live in a place where you expect nothing of no one, how do you then live up to the expectations? Like, how do you then live up to any expectations? Because then you become a person that don't expect anything of me because I don't expect anything of you. Because I don't. How do you live where you are giving to others, but never ever expect anybody to give to you? People like that become exhausted, burned out very quickly. That was the end of the comments.
Yeah, the end of the commences.
Oh,
You've reached the end of the show.
we've reached the end of the show. I don't know what conclusions we came to.
Conclusion is where Telsey comment is.
Yeah, conclusion of the
The
matter.
hurt can
Telsey
come from
in.
perception and not perspective. Perception comes from man. Perspective is from God.
I will just chime in. The comment Pastor Denzel left with us before he went in his meeting tonight. Meeting tonight. His comment was, we should be careful how we generalize the church and talk about the church as a body when we use the phrase church
I'm not
hurt.
a person from the church hurt you.
Because I think as soon as you start saying church hurt, you're characterizing the entire church. And that's why then people never settle anywhere.
No.
Because they've already got a perception of the church in their minds. Now, it's very different to say I was hurt in that church. That's a different story altogether.
Yes.
So maybe church hurt
Yes.
is the problem. This general term that we're using.
This umbrella term.
This umbrella term. But yes. Hurt
Anyway,
comes
guys,
from perception, not perspective. Perception comes from
I guess
man.
I'm gonna try and make some contact and see if anybody will come forward and say they were church hurt and see if they can come on the show next week.
Tell their story.
Well, week after. FYI, news alert, there won't be any show next week.
Yes, there'll be no
We'll be
show
back
next week.
on the
16th.
16th tonight. 16th. All right, we're back on the 16th. So we do apologize. We have a ministers' conference. Look at Jesus. So, folks, y'all stay tuned.
Woo! I don't know what is going on, but I know I'm getting 2 days to sleep, 2 Saturdays to sleep in.
No, you're not yet. We just stay tuned. Y'all stay tuned. But anyway.
Imane, you're right.
So-
More conversations like this need to be had.
Oh, yeah.
That's why you got to tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to come on the live.
Come on the live. So next week.
Come and
so
drink this tea
next
with us
time,
on Saturdays.
Next time we have a show, I'm going to do my best to have someone that can say that they experienced church hurt.
If you are somebody who is on the live now and you're willing to share your experiences, please send Delton. You or your loved ones have been affected by any of the issues raised in this episode of the DGMT.
You may suffer from mesothelioma.
You may not-
You may have mesothelioma.
Please contact 0800 565656.
Yeah, you may have mesothelioma.
So yeah, send Delton Delton or I a
Send-
Facebook message or WhatsApp message if you have our number. Let us know. You know what? I wouldn't mind coming and tell my story anonymously, as in I'm gonna use pseudonyms for churches and people, and I'll tell my story and talk about how the Lord healed me or is still working on me.
Yeah. So if you don't want to share your story, like actually on air, you're gonna send me a message.
Yes, true that. We can read it.
And we'll read
But
it.
try and give us all the levels, especially if it's complicated. Because our friend today had to keep coming back to fill in the gaps.
But then if you want to come on, you can come on. Your face never be seen. We could do that too.
We could do that. We could put you on the mic.
We could call you in
Oh,
virtually.
call you in. All right,
virtually, and you can talk.
virtual.
You could try disguise your voice. Hey, you see the change rate. The change rate. The people that avoid me. So you can do that.
What? Shauna say, what about school hurt? Shut up.
School hurt. Listen to me. School hurt. Shauna, as we are both aware.
Shauna, this is
You
why
just
I
start
agree.
rap.
This is why I agree with about a full 100%. You gotta have no expectations, baby. Now,
Yeah.
let me tell you what my niece told me today. So I was talking to my niece this morning. She was telling me, anyway, long story about how we got to that point of the conversation. But she said she met, she was in the park feeding the ducks, and the man was feeding the squirrels. So she got talking to this guy, found out that he doesn't have a job. He's kind of living on benefits in the UK. That's like social security. Is that where the government just gives you a
I
little
want
bit
to talk
every
to
week
some
to
people
kind of
today
survive because
who
you
are
don't have a
living
job,
in
right?
controversy.
And she
You
was
got
telling the
your
man,
levels.
I'm off to school now
And you
because
got
my
your
lunch break is
haters.
over. And he's like, school was the worst days of my life.
You're standing in the middle of so much
He's in his
noise.
still referencing school.
Jesus
the worst time
was the
of his life.
only
So it
one
wasn't for
who could
him.
be the mediator.
I'm assuming that
And
he
had he
dropped out
not
of school
been
early,
able
so I
to
guess
function
qualification
between
meant
two
why he got
mountains
a job at this age.
and
And it
between
was
two
just like, and it
thieves,
just dropped
and
me
between
again,
two
like school could
opinions,
really make or break
then
you.
he wouldn't be
School
able
can
to
really
exist
make
as a
or break you.
mediator
Teachers out there, let's be
between
honest.
God and
Can't be
man.
of my students in 20 years that say.
He might have said church, but the teacher
You can't balance anything you can't settle.
Y'all stop. She
Well,
meant C is for coat. Stop it.
it's Cody.
She meant coat. She said
No,
goat, but she meant coat, man.
I was trying to figure what word
She meant goat. She meant goat.
I didn't know where she meant.
She meant goat, man. Jameek though. Jameek didn't know what the difference because Jameek was half asleep.
Yeah. No, half. It wasn't half. It's
Between
gone.
John and Judas.
Something that's playing. Give us a second. Let me try. There's something that's playing. Hello, lad.
Oh, she say Bishop Jakes is interrupting story time. My goodness.
Hold on. Let me catch the thing. Sorry. Something else is playing on the air. So Sophie's a couple seconds till I go.
No, Delton just end the show.
No, because they got here when we said there's something that's playing on the air.
Can you walk between Mount Olive and Mount
The man
Calvary?
say C is for curry
Only
goat.
brings the question of can you eat between John and
Oh, one thing I love about y'all.
Judas? Can you exist between two opinions?
Oh.
Hosanna, you're the king.
Are we good now? We good to go? I was just telling my story about, y'all don't want to hear my story. All I know is I believe she meant C is for coat. But Imana said that was a cat in the picture. I cannot. Y'all know, mom, no, it was not. Come on now. Come on. You know she know. C is not for goat. Can we have a DGMT, student versus teachers? I don't know if that's what we do here.
Sorry, guys.
I don't know, Sean, if that's what we do here. Sean is asking if we can have a student versus teachers. Sean, I'm a teacher, so I need you to tread real light.
Now, what I want us to get to this week on Teacher Chronicles, there's a picture. I really wanted us to talk about that picture
Why?
because that was hilarious.
I thought you were truly disturbed.
There was
by
a
it.
picture that Vera posted of one of the students. Listen to me. Why are you trying? Yeah. All right. Yeah. So Vera did her Teacher Chronicles with a student.
You all need to leave Miss Bimini alone.
Yeah, it's a lot of distraction. Hey, there you go. Got you, guy. What?
Easy fix.
Oh, sorry.
So, what's happening tomorrow? Distractions, because we're trying to avoid distractions for everybody, or just you?
Sorry, it's commercial break, folks.
Commercial break.
Oh, you mean that? Oh, no.
Okay.
Hey, we don't need it.
All right. Come on,
Anyway,
man. Let's
so-
wrap this up. I see what you're trying to do.
We talking
We're
about
wrapping
Shay
up. We're
Shay. Let me
closing the
finish that.
show. We're talking about
Shauna
school hurt.
said
Shauna
she
we don't talk
Shay.
about church hurt. She
She
was
know
talking about
for school
school
hurt.
hurt. She say,
Establish the difference between institutionalized and individual.
yes.
Okay. What are the other conclusions? What's the majority? Is it individual or is it institutional?
No, I think people appreciate that it's usually individuals, but sometimes it's when the leadership represents what that church stands for and members don't disagree. Like 10 times out of 10, the leadership presents a view. I'm going to go. Judy, you're going to have to sit in this chair. The leadership, like a leadership decision or the leadership represents the church. So we were just acknowledging that 9 times out of 10 when people say church hurt, they probably are referring to the leadership of a local body, not the body at large, but in a particular branch of this body of Christ, maybe a pinky toe, the leadership there, or the group, the individual, the group that lead that church and that body, and the members by extension who do not disagree, who did not protest, would be referred to as the church. We didn't necessarily say that was right, but we established that when people say church, that's probably what they're referring to when leadership have made a decision or have done something to hurt them. Now, we acknowledge that there are some people that say church hurt because an individual hurt them, and maybe there was wider knowledge that nobody did anything about. So no other response came in. So Pastor Denzel slapped me in service and nobody came to my aid and rescue, and then the church hurt me. But I think there's a sense of a group being part of decisions or actions. Pastor Denzel, we were wrapping up though.
I just think one of the things that I wonder.
You wondering without a mic.
How much confrontation do we do? Meaning,
We talked about that as well.
Yeah.
if you have your did you actually go and the Bible has a formula for that?
Pastor Denzel wasn't here. We covered all these things. Should be really
Yeah,
proud.
your minister be brought. You brought your minister.
She and one.
I'm my wife.
Good job, y'all. So, and then this, I think it's
Put the mic on now.
I think it's Galatians. Am I right? I'm tired, man.
You gotta go.
Galatians 4.
Can you all hear the bishop?
I'll turn them up.
He's giving us our closing.
I wonder, and this makes us the preachers comfortable in some regard. Paul says, Galatians 4:19, he says, "My little children, of whom I travail in birth again until Christ be formed in you." And I'm wondering how engaged are we as leaders in ensuring that Christ is formed in those that we pastor. Because as Christ becomes formed, and we know that Christ, whenever we see Christ there, it is not just the man from Galilee, it's the Word itself, because he's the Word. If that Word is being formed on the inside of us, how can we finish in the flesh what began in the Spirit?
You talking about leaders?
No, I'm talking about the membership.
Uh,
That if Christ is formed in you and you're maturing in God and the Word is being matured in you, how do you allow something of the flesh causing you to end something in the Spirit?
But then the question we asked and established that a lot of people don't necessarily have that reference point is, it didn't begin in the Spirit.
Again, that means, are we now that back to the leadership? Are we busy ensuring that Christ be formed? Are we more important? Are we more concerned about church programs and church operations? And most of the people be hurting in things that have no spiritual connotation whatsoever. Most of the hurt comes from the carnal things that we do in church.
Right.
And should it be a hint then that we
Our
stop
churches
the
are
carnal things?
carnal.
Yeah, we are very, very carnal.
Pastor, I have to be out of here in 5 minutes, but I really want to answer your question. Can you answer it as quickly as possible?
You was on row with me. I good.
You could just say no. I don't have to answer the question.
I get a Milo.
One of the things that came up in the discussion is oftentimes a lot of hurt comes from, as you said, no confrontation. But then the question can be raised. In some circumstances, is it the member's responsibility to initiate confrontation and discussion, or do the leaders have a responsibility? And let me give you the example that we're working on. One of Delton's friends came in and said that in his particular situation, the church leadership had agreed to offer them some kind of aid, and suddenly that aid and assistance stopped. And I raised the point that I think we have a culture in church where leaders, you don't question them. Don't ask them why they made the decisions they make, especially if they say God say. Mm-hmm. And if they don't say God say, assume they say God say when they don't explain themselves to you. Mm-hmm. But is there a responsibility on leaders to instigate or initiate these conversations that would clear up? Because sometimes the member can go away and be like, okay, they maybe stopped assisting me because of this, that, and the other. Because in this particular case, 3 people were receiving assistance. 1 person stopped getting it. The other 2 continued to get it. I think leadership leaves themselves open to all kind of accusation and assumptions that they could clear up if they were to have a conversation with people, not from a spiritual point of view, but from just the fact that we are all humans.
I think that's very spiritual. It's extremely irresponsible. If the story happened exactly, because we don't know the details,
right?
If it happened exactly as that person just laid it out,
right?
That's extreme. That's egregiously
irresponsible of the leadership.
Irresponsible of church leadership. You can't do that. You can't do that, man. That's being Christian. That is spiritual. How do you do that? How do you cut somebody's legs off and don't tell them? How do you disadvantage? I mean, we can find scriptures upon scriptures to show you how spiritual, how unspiritual, non-spiritual that is. You can't do that, man.
Okay.
And not offer some sort of, as much as lies within you, live peaceably with all men. And so
that's one of my faves.
I think one of the things the church should do in that instance, no matter what, is to make sure we maintain all of them. So the church got to be one. We're supposed to be extra. We ain't only extra in money and extra in blessing. We extra in being vulnerable. Meaning that if this can cost me being the church, this can cost me financially, this can cost me, I can hurt, I can make myself vulnerable, I can expose myself as the church to help that brother and sister. That's what the church does. So we sometimes have to expose ourselves. But expose from the standpoint of, you have a financial exposure. I'm exposed financially. We do that. We make ourselves vulnerable sometimes financially, sometimes when it comes to our reputation, sometimes to save the people, just to cover people. That's what the church does. You can't do that, man. You can't have somebody like that and you don't communicate with that. Now, when I say you can't do it, and be right. You're wrong.
Okay. Of course you can.
You can do it, and it is possible. Let me say this now. It is possible that sometimes our machinery is so big, things slip. That's another possibility. I don't know what machinery it was because I don't want this down the road and then happen in life and then somebody say, "But Pastor Dennis was a liar, he was a hypocrite." No, I am human as well. So that's why I remember to say it can happen. But when it does and is highlighted, there's no defense. We got to fall on our sword, apologize, and make part of high church teaching, make restitution. Restitution should be made. Now, if you got a scholarship from church and we say maintain the 3 point and you get a 2.1, we can give you that 1 year from 2.8. But when we see I think get out of 2.1, oh, that one name over, but you need to go study or you need to come home.
So thank you.
That should be controlled.
Listen, we have to shout out Pow today. We fill our bellies on Pow and Xavier say we already eat our Pow.
I ain't shouting no Pow.
Turn the camera back to Delton so he can, please.
I ain't shouting. I ain't shouting.
We didn't you were gonna be here, sir.
I ain't shouting no Pow. Xavier.
I didn't say we. Actually, I personally was surprised, pleasantly surprised. Xavier, that was awful a chance.
Hold on,
Julie got me something I've never had before.
We pay for this or Pow sent this us? We pay for this? Oh, we talked about. We saw Julianne.
Julianne.
We can shout out
nobody showed up out today.
We can shout out Julianne who got us food from the establishment.
Say, oh, Bishop, why they ain't bring yours? I see what they say. We're trying to say. Anyway, DGMT it's been a long one. It's been a good one. It's been a strong one, which it always is, to be fair. I'm hearing people saying, Teacher Chronicles, y'all, I'm really trying to think about what to do with it because y'all love it so much. I'm trying to figure out how to get it. I told you the children found me on TikTok. I'm trapped. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do with and I thought my last one was silly, but apparently y'all thought it was hilarious.
It's hilarious because this one actually included pictures.
And I said to the child, I was like, "Can I take a picture of you?" And he just sat there looking at me.
Oh,
he didn't say no. He didn't say yes. He just froze and posed. He froze, so that was his permission. He gave
y'all that don't have viewers and friends, y'all missing out on WhatsApp. Because this particular story right here was hilarious with a student that does not like Vera. That wasn't
the last one, Juliet.
The student doesn't like Vera, apparently. However,
he didn't say it. I just got strong vibes
in the middle of
from
a
him.
test. The test right there, the test.
Yeah, it was a spelling test.
He had a mask on.
And he filled it
with pencils and coloring pencils. Just all over the place, just sticked randomly throughout his mask.
And for me, it was a breakthrough. I didn't tell him off. I didn't row him out.
I thought that was a victory.
I thought it was a victory. It was a victory. And do you know how many of my teacher friends were like, "Well done," because they understand that. They get it. They get that. I was hurted, Jody.
That student hurt.
They understand that. Like, if a student is comfortable enough, especially one that's like cold and reserved, if they feel comfortable enough to be silly in your lesson, you win. As soon as they do some dumbness, you've won.
Wow.
Listen, Opal came in my chats telling me well done, just like it's a victory. And I got all kind of teachers in my chats as like, well done, keep up the good work, LOL, I feel you. It's a real teacher thing.
See, and that's why I left teaching. Because
Franklin, you need to add my number. Add me on add my number so you can
well
watch
done
my
for
WhatsApp.
me would be that student, me making that student cry. That'll be a go. Good job.
Cry like out of
I heard that feeling.
No, come on, Delton.
Peace. It's good for you.
Because that day, because in my teacher chronicle, I gave you the example of one of the reasons why I know this boy don't like me. He refuses to say good morning to me.
And that right there is why I'm going to make you cry.
Now, he refuses to say good morning to me in ways like as long as he could get away with it. But then one day I just didn't let him get away with it. And I pressed until he said good morning. He did, I didn't hear you. He eventually said it. So for me, it was big that he just felt, and he was willing for me to take a picture of him. Didn't have any problems. Wasn't shy. Was happy. Delton Vicked like, all right then. That's why Delton is not still a teacher.
Oh yeah. Shut up all down, buddy.
Because Shauna have something to say about teachers like you. Shauna, we can see what we can do about school hurt and teachers versus students. That's a whole, I don't even know what we would say. I think Shauna
now that Shauna's in university, it makes it even worse.
Yeah, Shauna, you got a different.
You can get some good ones that are going to like help you along that journey. And then you know some,
but that's a blessing though. That's not there. You shouldn't expect that.
You're gonna have some who make you wish you never started the journey.
Yeah,
you're gonna have those. I remember. I think that's not the same teacher too, and we had the same meeting. Yeah, we've been here together. We were
many years apart.
10 years apart. We had the same teacher, and right before midterm, like coming up to the date where you can drop in art class, he had a class. He's like, "You only any books today," and he came one by one and showed the student their grade. It was like, "I think you should drop this class." And he went one by one. He's like, "You, before dropping that N and you get this F, you should drop this class. He went student by student.
That's a good thing or a bad thing?
he
That's
went,
a good thing.
He went student by student. It's like, you ain't gonna make it. It's like, you.
At this stage.
Listen to me. Right there in the park when they walk in there, he was like, roll, you good. He's like, he could try get his average up to like a B minus. I was like, sir, I'm gonna take the C and I'm gonna go. This was chemistry. I remember I was like, sir, if I come to this class with a C, you don't know the praise I'm going to give. So he was like, I was like, a B. It's like, a B? It's like, nah, bro.
I think that's a good teacher.
At the end of that, by half term, I'd see that class went from about 20 to about 8, 9 of us.
Nice.
Yeah. Shut the boy all the way down.
I was gonna say that 8 and 9 of you all was having a good time.
Oh yeah, man,
A whale of a time.
A whale of a time.
A whale of a time. So please, if you wish to join me on the Teacher Chronicles while they are still on WhatsApp, I don't know, I'm about to blow, guys. I feel like I'm about to blow. So I feel like this is gonna make me TikTok famous.
I give you the app where you can blur face and stuff like that because we need more pictures.
Okay, please. Because I can't give you pictures. I did voices last week. I recorded them talking, but not their faces. But that I couldn't not. Because when I saw him, and I was like, and I kept handing things out. And then I went back. I was like, no. What's happening? What? So guys, imagine your mask. He's got like pencils sticking out at the bottom. He's got pencils sticking out at the top, and then he's got pencils going across. Somebody WhatsApp me saying this is how they create.
Put in the camera, man. Find a picture, just put in the camera real quick.
They said they told me. Someone said to me he looked like this is how horror movie characters are created.
Oh man, we didn't get time to talk about the helmet. There's a boy that randomly put a helmet on in class. We didn't talk about that.
The boy who put the helmet on. Did we not talk about that in class?
I don't even know about.
I didn't tell you all about the boy who went off camera and came back with a helmet on his head just for no reason. Not a regular bike helmet, but like a World War II helmet. I did tell you guys that. I know I told you all that.
Yeah, so I mean, that's what y'all want to catch Teacher Chronicles. It's hilarious.
People are coming in my chats like I need to send them the last Teacher Chronicles because they missed that. And that's the thing about Teacher Chronicles, 24 hours and it's gone. 24 hours and it's gone.
And they recorded. You used to do it live.
I do that live.
You start recording them. Bro.
No. They save on my WhatsApp. Whatever I record live, it saves.
Okay, all right.
So I have them still. And then they go into like my Google Photos. So I have them.
There
Look.
You go.
Okay, for those of you who want to see the picture, I'm going to do a quick in the camera because let me cover his uniform at least.
He's sliding. No
slide into the screenshots. No, y'all don't need to see my screenshots.
But that's the pencils. It's all over the face. Hilarious. Hilarious.
And he's 14. That's why I think some people didn't think. Some people thought he was in my grade 6 class. No. He's 14. He's 14. And he's smart. He's 14 and he's smart. He's not slapping up. He had time to put pencils in his thing because he was already done study for the spelling test.
He's ready to go.
The other children was panicking, trying to cross out and rewrite. He done write that one time. He was good to go, buddy. Good to go.
So they got his free time.
All his free time. Meanwhile,
let me just stick these pencils in there real quick.
we gotta wrap up and go. We gotta go. It's nearly 3 o'clock. But that's our fault.
Yeah.
We can't blame you for that.
It's us. And we apologize for DJ's listeners that came sliding on our show. The nerve of Thomas Dexter.
Can you imagine?
Coming in our show like we.
But then the nerve of these two people to shut Thomas Dexter down while
hey, it's the interrupt story time. Anyway, guys, listen, it's been fun. It's been real fun. We look forward to seeing you next time here at DGMT. Join us tomorrow morning. Life Worship Center begin at 8 a.m. and 11 a.m. 11:15. I saw actually 11:15. Could be 11-ish. 8-ish and 11-ish. No, 8 a.m.
No, 8
and 11-ish.
And 11-ish. But not like our kind of 11.
Not like
DGMT 11-ish. No, Delton. We've got a solution to this problem.
It's been a few times. But anyway.
We've got a solution. You guys are going to love to hear it. See you all.
You won't let me that? Let me do that. We haven't family issues again. Yeah.
Family issues?
Anyway, guys, thanks so much for listening. I am Delton.
I'm Vera.
That is Vera.
And this has been Julie with us in the background.
Julie's been here all day.
The whole episode.
She has brought us.
I like the presence of this third party.
A third party?
I like this producer.
An anonymous third party.
Yeah, an anonymous third party.
Who knows?
It adds a different vibe.
Whose name is known, who conversations there, and they still type online.
You realize they start putting Joshy in the corner?
Yeah, they have to put it in the corner. So you put Julianne in the corner.
You put Julianne in the corner. She have to look. She have to look like she doing something though.
Yeah, no, sitting there and playing game and eating our biscuit. So anyway, guys, y'all be safe. Y'all have a good one. I am Delton. That is Vera. You are you. Continue being you. This is Julie saying that she is Julie in the background. It's a great day to have a great day. So continue having one. Have a God-filled weekend, a glory-filled weekend.
Oh Lord.
Oh
The
boy.
sleep is on me. It's
Oh,
time, buddy.
it is
It's
here.
time.
It's time. Feel it strong and heavy. We gone. Y'all be safe. We out here.
Hallelujah.
Hey y'all, this right here is the Bible Slide featuring the Freedom Band. And this time we're about to get holy, 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 holy. Holy, holy, holy. Everybody clap your hands. Clap, 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 clap your hands. Clap, 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 clap your hands. All right, we about to have some spiritual milk. To the left. Take a step of faith. Pray once this time. On the devil, let's stomp. On temptation, let's stomp. Bible slide real smooth. Now praise and shout. To the right. Take a step of faith. Jump out the boat. Right foot, let's go. Left foot, let's go. Bible slide now, y'all. Now it's time to get holy. Get right now. To the left. Take it to the grave and see it resurrect. Come alive this time. Right fist, 2 pumps. Left fist, 2 pumps. Don't look to the left. Don't look to the right. Backslide. No! Backslide. No! It's just a move. Let's win the lost. Go left. Take his kingdom back now, y'all. 2 souls this time. 2 souls this time. Right fist, 2 pumps. Left fist, 2 pumps. Pray on your knees. Pray on your knees. Get holy with it. Oh, yeah. Come on. Bible slide now, y'all. Temptations. Turn them down. The harvest is ready. Take them back now, y'all. 5 souls this time. On principalities, let's stomp. On the bondage, let's stomp. They're not your friends. The devil's not your friend. On the devil, let's stomp. On temptation, let's stomp. Behave! Everybody raise your hands. Come on, y'all. Pray it out. How low can you go? Can you go down low? Drop your knees to the floor. How low can you go? He can bring it to the top. He can raise your face up. He can bring it to the top. 1 hop. Right foot now. Walk it out now, y'all. Bible slide real smooth.